Every great drama has its subplots. Game 5 of the NBA Finals was no exception. The Jazz finally got a marquee performance from their star, Karl Malone. The mailman stole the show with 39 points. Meanwhile, Chicago's leading man, Michael Jordan, was having trouble hitting his marks. Even with Malone's big night, the director of Utah's cast, Jerry Sloan, made a script revision at intermission. He called on a seldom-used veteran from Wichita State, a stand-in, Antoine Carr. Carr had 5 field goal attempts in the second half. He made them all. Without his performance in a supporting role, the NBA Finals would be history. Instead, the Jazz are back in Utah, back on their home stage, after refusing to let the curtain come down in Chicago. Game 6, next.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1998 NBA Finals. Tonight, it's Game 6. The Chicago Bulls versus the Utah Jazz.
A while ago at the Delta Center, the cast of characters began arriving for Game 6. Karl Malone, fresh off the great 39-point performance on Friday night. Michael Jordan held just 9 of 26 from the floor in Game 5. Antoine Carr, unexpected hero, helping to bring it back to Salt Lake, where John Stockton has family support. Dennis Rodman doesn't prefer Utah, at least it's close to Vegas. Brian Russell, good job defensively on Michael in Game 5. Scottie Pippen, whose MVP chances for the final may have been hurt by his 2 of 16 shooting on Friday night. And we welcome you back to Salt Lake City for Game 6. Hello again, everybody. I'm Bob Costas. As we mentioned earlier, no team has ever come back from a 3-1 deficit to win the NBA Finals. That's what the Jazz are facing. But for the sake of context, 6 teams have recovered after being down 3-1 to win earlier rounds in the NBA playoffs, including 3 teams that eventually won the championship. And should the Jazz win tonight and force a Game 7, then it would be worth noting that very few teams have ever won a 7th game on the road in the finals. That's what Chicago would be facing. If anything, Utah would have a slight edge, it would seem, in that scenario. Now, if Chicago wants to take some encouragement from recent history, they know that Game 6 has been very, very good to them. Of their 5 championships, only one, the first one, a 5-game victory over the Lakers, was not clinched in the 6th game. There was the comeback from 15 points down in the 4th quarter against Portland in '92. John Paxson shot at Phoenix a year later. The Sonics were finished off in Game 6 2 years ago in Chicago, and then it was Steve Kerr's shot that finally put Utah away last spring. So, if the Bulls want to bring the hammer down, Game 6 is the time to do it as we welcome in Isaiah Thomas and Doug Collins. There is a Game 6, Doug, because Utah was able to make some subtle adjustments in Game 5.
Well, Bob, they went away from their screen roll in the second half, and they went more to a post-up with Karl Malone. They put Antoine Carr in the game to give them another shooter so that when Pippen double-teamed, they could kick the ball out to the open man. They're going to get the good baseline cut. Pippen's going to get a double-team, and you're going to see Carr step right in, out of the double team, and hit the open jump shot. This caused problems for Chicago in the 4th quarter. Now what happens is you worry about the 4 shooters you have on the floor, so you stay at home. This gives Malone room to operate in the post and go one-on-one against Rodman. He does, wheels in and scores easily. Now in the 4th quarter, it was Antoine Carr and Karl Malone. They had 16 of the 24 points. They're going to need more of that today if they're going to force a Game 7. Bob?
Well, you know, Doug, we might ask the question, what took Jerry Sloan so long to go to Antoine Carr? Prior to Game 5, he'd scored only 4 points through the first 4 games.
Well, in talking to Jerry Sloan, one of the things he's worried about is Karl Malone guarding Tony Kukoc on the perimeter. And when he has Antoine Carr in the game, that has to occur. So even though he doesn't like that matchup, we're going to have to see a lot of it today if the Utah Jazz are going to win.
Well, Tony Kukoc was brilliant in Game 5. 11 of 13, 4 3-pointers, 30 points. But Jordan and Pippen had their problems.
Surprisingly, Bob, Jordan and Pippen were struggling all night long. You see Jordan here never really could find his rhythm. Every time he shot the ball, it was just a little long. Pippen, known for his moves against Hornacek in the low post, never really went to his patented jump hook. forced turnaround jump shots all night. But Kukoc was marvelous, hitting 11 of 13 from the field, and you see the big three right there over Karl Malone. Now, it took Kukoc 11 field goals. Kukoc made 11 field goals on 42, on 13 shots. Pippen and Jordan took 42 field goals to combine for 11 field goal attempts. I think for the big three, they're going to have to play well tonight, and all of them going to have to big effort here, Bob.
All right, and we'll get a big effort from Hannah Storm and the Showtime crew coming up following these messages. Game 6 just around the corner from Salt Lake City.
Welcome back to Salt Lake City. I'm Hannah Storm along with Peter Vesey, John Sally, and Bill Walton. We'll hear from these gentlemen in just a moment. But first, some injury news, and it's not good news for Bulls forward Scottie Pippen. After a great defensive effort in Game 3, during which he drew numerous charges, Pippen has been experiencing stiffness in his back. Earlier, we spoke with Bulls trainer Chip Schaefer.
Scottie had been complaining about some low back pain since Game 3 on last Sunday when he took 5 charges in that game, and he was able to practice and play games all week long, but continuing to traumatize it like that, he wasn't able to make the kind of improvement that he might have hoped. And then yesterday he came in still sore from the game on Friday night, and the team doctors gave him the opportunity, if he wanted, to treat it in a very aggressive manner with an injection, and he opted to do that.
A look at Pippen at this morning's shoot-around in obvious discomfort because of the injury.
He's better this morning than he was yesterday. I put that question to him. He thought he was about 30% better than he was yesterday. Hopefully, with some more treatment today, he'll be, closer to 100% by game time tonight.
Phil Jackson told me this morning that if Scottie is not productive, he will limit Pippen's minutes tonight. Now, Utah also has a health concern. Backup point guard Howard Isley, who had no points and 5 turnovers in Game 5, told me he is suffering from vertigo stemming from an inner ear problem. He has been dizzy and disoriented, but he says that he will attempt to play tonight. Jerry Sloan told me, in retrospect, he doesn't think Isley should have played on Friday night. Now, let's move on to one of the Game 5 heroes, Utah's 13-year veteran Antoine Carr. After totaling just 4 points in the first 4 games of these finals, Carr had 12 points on Friday night, shooting 5 of 6 from the field. For a guy who thought about retiring back in December, it was quite a contribution. There was one point in the season where you actually considered leaving, is that right?
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Well, I had some personal things and some things I just thought were not right. And I felt like, well, I don't want to really go through a headache and a hassle to play basketball. I mean, it should be something I enjoy. And I was getting up every morning kind of upset. And I didn't feel good about it. And I thought about it, and then we had a little sit-down talk, me and coach and management, and kind of went over some things I wanted to talk about and clear up. And I'm ready to play another 4 years now.
There's always frustration sometimes with us here. We're not perfect. I probably upset him a little bit. I think it had something to do with it. And but we came back and sat down and talked about what's going on, and I think he changed his mind.
We just basically told me, hey, look, you're a part of this team. You're an integral part of this team. We need you to play well. We need you to step up and be the dog. Do the things you do best, and just play hard. Give us that intensity. And that's kind of what I wanted to hear out of him, and that's what I try to do.
Antoine Carr can give him that presence. He can score.
And he can get hot and get in a rhythm. He's one of the great streak post-up players in the game.
Especially with a veteran team like this, people are always talking about that window of opportunity to win a championship and how it closes each year. Is that something you think about as a player?
No, I'm too old to think about that. No. Every now and then you do, especially after playing 13, 14 years in this league, you say, this is a chance for me to get a ring. I want this ring, I want it bad, and you try everything you can to try to get it. And especially with Karl Malone and John Stockton on your team, you kind of want to help those guys get the ring. You want to be one of the guys that say, hey, I was on that team with them, and I helped them get it.
There had been some talk of Antoine Carr starting tonight, but Jerry Sloan prefers Carr's energy off the bench. So Adam Keefe will once again start at center for the Jazz. Now, as for Chicago, both the city and the team were ready to celebrate a 6th championship on Friday night. This morning, I talked with Chicago coach Phil Jackson about the disappointment of losing Game 5.
Well, you know, when you don't meet people's expectations, it's really tough. And we've done this before. We've been through this before in our series of championships, but this group hasn't. Usually we've met those expectations, at least at some level. But this was a whole town. This is a perfect scenario for Michael. It was really like it was all drummed up there. But it just, you know, those things are the big disappointments in life. And if you're attached to them, you can really be despondent.
Was it difficult to refocus the team? How did you do it?
You know, momentum is such an interesting force, and momentum goes from game to game. We like to say it goes from quarter to quarter. How you finish a quarter out dictates how you start the next one. Well, Utah is fortunate in that 5th game to finish out the half with a spectacular long pass to Anderson that cut the lead from 8 to 6, and it gave them some momentum going in the second half. Winning that game gives them momentum into this game, and now we have to seize that back or else we're going to have a hard night.
Much more from a very reflective Phil Jackson coming up at halftime. Bill, the Bulls' defense has been steady, but not their offense. They're struggling, shooting only 42%.
And this championship is all about Michael Jordan's offensive attack. In games 4 and 5, the Bulls' offense was very stagnant. They were standing around, they were waiting, and they were watching. Tonight, it's all Michael Jordan. To the hoop, get in that post, and most importantly, get to the foul line. Unless that happens right from the beginning of the game, Peter, I think the Bulls' championship run is in serious jeopardy.
Bill, obviously Jordan is the go-to guy, but I think it'd be a huge mistake if he tried to bogart the offense. In the last 2 games, he shot under 40%. His jumper isn't there. The legs have no lift in them. Kukoc and Scottie Pippen have proved that they can be relied upon. Now is not the time to stop depending on these guys. You got to trust your teammates, Hannah.
That's right, Peter. They've won all their championships with a team concept in Chicago. John, what if Scottie Pippen can't be effective tonight?
Well, I think he is already effective. The fact that he showed his loyalty to the Chicago Bulls by taking that shot in his back proves he's not just want to play, but he does want to win.
Well, as the Utah Jazz learned very well last year, the Bulls are excellent at these Game 6s. Chicago's last 4 championships have all been decided in Game 6. We'll have the player introductions and the opening tip-off coming right up. The NBA Finals continue on NBC right after these messages.
Because it feels good. By Ford, maker of vehicles that are built to last.
Hard to beat the beauty of the area surrounding Salt Lake City and the Delta Center. Inside, they've already begun the chant of Beat the Bulls. And to get a look at the starting lineups, we go to the PA man at the Delta Center, Dan Roberts.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Delta Center for game number 6 of the NBA Finals. With the Chicago Bulls and our Utah Jazz. And now introducing the starting lineup for the Chicago Bulls. Wearing number 7, starting forward at 6'11" from Croatia, Toni Kukoc. Wearing number 33, starting forward at 6'7" from Central Arkansas, Scottie Pippen. Wearing number 13, the starting center at 7 feet from New Mexico, Luke Longley. On the guard line, number 9 at 6'6" from Miami of Ohio, Ron Harper. And at guard, number 23 at 6'6" from North Carolina, Michael Jordan. The Bulls are coached by Phil Jackson.
Out the turnaround jumper, good. Pistol, Pete Maravich. And the Jazz win their first ever Midwest Division title. Unbelievable.
Magic down the alley, goes to Green. Block by Eaton. Big jump on Magic. Block by Eaton. Oh, baby, big mark everywhere.
He did it. He did it. A new NBA assist king, John Stockton.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Karl Malone, 1996-97 NBA Most Valuable Player.
John Stockton sends the Utah Jazz to the NBA Finals.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing our Utah Jazz. Starting at forward number 32 at 6'9" from Louisiana Tech, the mailman, Karl Malone. Starting forward number 3 at 6'7" from Long Beach State, Brian Russell. The starting center number 31 at 6'9" from Stanford, Adam Keefe. On the guard line, number 12 at 6'1" from Gonzaga, John Stockton. And guard number 14 at 6'4" from Iowa State, Jeff Hornacek. The Jazz are coached by Jerry Sloan.
And as always, pre-tip, we go to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Bob. The big news on the Bulls is the condition of Scottie Pippen. As was reported earlier in our pregame show, he did take an injection yesterday. He told me he hurt that back in Game 3 and Game 4, irritated a little bit more. Before the game today, he said he had everything he could have done to it. He had electrical stimulation, then he iced it, had ultrasound, had a massage, and then did a lot of stretching and told me that he is a little bit ginger, but nothing could keep him out of a game like this. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmad. One further Bulls note. I just spoke to Ron Harper. He is suffering the effects of the flu. He's very weak. He can't hold any food down. He will start. He will play. Just how long and how effective he doesn't know. As for Howard Isley, I spoke to him. He's still suffering from vertigo. He's telling me before the game he's a little dizzy. He's a little disoriented. He is going to play. Coach Sloan is just going to keep his eye on him. If he cannot go, John Stockton will take his minutes. Finally, I spoke to Karl Malone. Karl Malone told me he's going to the basket early tonight. He's going to be very aggressive early in the game. He wants to get Longley and Rodman into foul trouble. Not many outside shots at all. He finally went on to say, we're down 3-2. I know this sounds crazy. However, I like our position, and I'm confident we can win this series. Bob?
Jim, thanks a lot. The officials are Dick Pavetta and Hugh Hollins, who worked Game 3, each of them in Chicago, and Danny Crawford, who worked Game 2 of the finals here at the Delta Center. The Bulls are just 4-4 on the road in the playoffs, and in fact have lost 4 of their last 5 road games against their toughest opponents, the Pacers and the Jazz. Jordan guarded by Russell. Hornacek will open on Pippen. He'll try and post Scottie on him. They go to it right away. Stockton comes over on the double team. Now back to Scottie, and they couldn't recover. Hornacek was left alone with him, and an easy 2 for Scottie.
That's going to be the strategy here early. Try to go at Hornacek with Pippen. Michael will do a lot of the ball handling in the first period.
Malone against Longley. Has to give it up, and Jordan is the only guy there. Longley, who has contributed little offensively and has been abused defensively by Malone. It's Jordan missing his first shot, and Russell takes the rebound. It looks like Scottie Pippen is laboring as he moves up and down the court. Ahmad told you he's suffering from a bad back. Malone hits his first. 17 of 27 in Game 5. As the whole Utah team shot better than 50%. Hooked away. Malone chases it to the side. It'll belong to Chicago.
Bob, I think Scottie Pippen pulled his back out on that dunk shot on his first play when he reached up for the rim and he pulled it down. I think he stretched up and he grimaced as he came down and he could barely run.
Harper guarded by Stockton. Pippen against Hornacek. Draws the double. Harper's the guy they'd like to leave alone. Kukoc isn't. But this time he misfires. Hornacek lost it to Longley. Now Pippen has it. All alone, Kukoc.
The one thing you don't want to do if you're Utah is get into a quick turnover battle here and give them easy points, especially Kukoc. Remember, he loves to get off early in quarters, and then he's a load the rest of the game.
Hornacek from Stockton ties the game at 4.
That was a great screen by Karl Malone. Hornacek set Michael Jordan up beautifully, and in a great entry pass by Stockton.
Kukoc. You wonder if the Bulls went to Kukoc enough in Game 5. With Jordan and Pippen struggling, Kukoc was on fire but got only 13 shots.
Yeah, Kukoc has the size advantage and also the speed advantage over Adam Keefe, and he can take him inside. Also, he can stick the outside J.
Malone got inside of Longley and drew the foul.
Now you watch Pippen come across the lane, and as he reaches up to dunk, he pulls his back out, and you see him grimace as he comes up the floor. Let's keep our eye on Scottie Pippen tonight.
Let's check in with Ahmad.
Bob, Scottie Pippen's really having a bad problem. In trying to bring the ball down, you can notice Michael sending him down the floor so he can bring the ball up. Now, as we mentioned earlier, that the strategy was to go to Scottie in the post. If his back continues to bother him, they may have to change that strategy. Bob?
You can see him with his hands on his knees, bending over, trying to limber up, wincing quite a bit. Malone hits the first. Generally, he and the Jazz team have not gone to the free throw line in the finals as often as they did during the regular season and in the earlier playoff rounds. The Bulls have had a big edge at the free throw line.
Jim Gray is listening to Jerry Sloan over on the sideline. He says Jerry is already complaining about illegal defense early in the game. Let's see if the next time down the floor the referees hear him once again. Remember, that was something that was big in the United Center. He was able to get the referee's attention. I thought it helped his team.
Harper trying to back in on Stockton, and the whistle goes against Utah. It's Stockton's first.
See, what Chicago will try to do is put a lot of pressure inside on the post with Harper and Pippen posting up Stockton and Hornacek.
Harper really battling with Stockton. Now he's got it. Tried to bring it back out, and Keefe stole it. Hornacek loses it to Harper. And a whistle as Harper comes stampeding into the lane.
Now, Bob, Scottie Pippen came back and got that steal, but he is really struggling right now. You're going to see him come in from behind, and after he knocks this ball away, he really sort of stands, and I watched him the whole way. He looked over at the bench at Phil Jackson, like saying, I don't feel very good right now. He's standing up straight. That's the first sign of a back injury, when a guy stops bending his knees.
A back injury is one of the most crippling of injuries, especially in an athletic context. And I'm not trying to compare a physical injury to an illness, but it was here in this building where Michael Jordan, sick as a dog, managed to gut it out in Game 5 of last year's final, the pivotal game. Scottie Pippen is probably mindful of that and will give it everything he's got to try to equal the effort that his teammate Michael Jordan has shown in the past.
See, Bob, that's why I think it's very, very important for the Jazz to lock in on Tony Kukoc, because if Pippen can't score and it's only Michael Jordan, that will be to their advantage. They've got to do a job on Kukoc today.
Stockton drives on Harper, ties the game. Stockton didn't take a single shot in the fourth quarter of Game 5. His assist totals have generally been high. His shooting percentage is high, but they'd like to see him get a few more shots up toward the rim. 3-second violation against Chicago.
So you watch Stockton's aggressiveness. They've given him the baseline this whole series. This time he's able to take Harper to the baseline, get a little space, and finish on the right side of the basket.
Hornacek, Jordan up on him. Malone puts it on the floor and is fouled. It was before the shot. It's Longley's second.
This was the strategy of Karl Malone. He said, I'm going to put the pressure on the Bulls defense, not many jump shots, and he has done that. 2 quick fouls on Longley.
Hornacek is free, but can't hit. Hornacek is now 18 for 46 in the series. Jordan There's his first field goal, and the Bulls take a 10-8 lead. If you take away Hornacek's 7 of 11 in Game 3, he's shooting around 30% for the rest of the series. 7 of 11 in Game 2, I should say, here. Harper reached in and fouled. Rodman off the bench. Let's see who he replaces. Longley has 2 fouls, and it's Luke who'll go out. Russell for 3. Utah has not been hitting the threes in this series. Now 11 for 51, around 20%. They shot 37% as a team from beyond the arc for the season. Pippen with the hook. Chicago by 4. Malone screening for Stockton. His 3 isn't there. Pippen claims the rebound. Pippen had it knocked away. Hornacek got a hand on it. Stockton takes it, dishes it to Jeff, who misses the driving one-hander. Jordan is wrapped up by Keefe for the Utah foul.
You know, Pippen is really hurting, but he's playing in pain as he takes Adam Keefe into the middle and shoots his patented little jump hook. And as he falls to the floor, you can see it's very difficult for him to get up with that bad back. You see him running up the floor, not able to get the type of push and the speed that he normally would have.
And during that timeout, I just spoke with Chip Schaefer, the trainer for the Chicago Bulls. He said that Scottie Pippen is not sore. He is just sore. And he's having a problem really with his mobility, not able to bend over and grab the ball. But hopefully, as he plays further and gets more warmed up, it'll improve. That's what they're hoping. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks.
With Scottie struggling, I think you're going to see the Jazz start picking up a little bit further down the floor. He's usually their primary ball handler. They'll try to pressure Michael and Harper up the floor, make it tougher for them to get into their offense.
Here is Pippen, out to Harper, open 3, missed it. Malone battling Rodman, and it's tipped to Stockton. Utah on the run, but Stockton circles back outside to set it up. It was kicked. Utah keeps it, fresh 24.
You watch Malone and Rodman battling under the boards. Malone's going all out as he runs the floor. They both kick each other a little bit. The referees may clean that up.
Russell couldn't finish. Kukoc rebounds.
That's 2 layups now that the Jazz have missed here early in this first quarter. Hornacek and now Russell.
See, with Pippen hurting, I think Harper's going to have to step up big and supply the scoring load.
Jordan for 3. Got it. Jordan with 5. And Chicago with a 7-point lead. Malone on that left block, this time against Rodman. Takes him into the lane. Tries to muscle up, but loses it. Pippen back. It was tied at 8. Now Chicago's on a 7-0 run. Kukoc underneath to an unguarded Harper, and the Bulls have scored 9 unanswered points. Timeout, Utah.
So you watch Karl Malone in the low post. They're not double teaming him. They're letting Rodman play him one-on-one. Consequently, when he goes up to put up the shot, he gets stripped, and it leads to this. Kukoc on the drive, the easy dump to Harper. Harper's going to have to step up big inside for the layup. And you're watching the NBA on NBC.
The Bulls lead by 9, but here's the bad news for them. Moments ago, Scottie Pippen, accompanied by trainer Chip Schaefer, leaves the bench and heads for the locker room. With more, here's Ahmad.
All right, Bob, I just spoke with Chip, and he told me that Scottie asked out of the game, and he wants to go back in the locker room and try to stretch his back out and try to get it more loose before he tries to come back in. I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll keep you posted. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Well, during that timeout, Jerry Sloan was about as loud and angry as he has been at his team this entire series. He said, guys, you are standing around. You're not fighting for any position defensively. You're letting the Bulls go wherever they want to go. Quit running around screens. Start running through them. Take a hard foul. Get some fight in you. Bob?
Jim, thanks. He goes to his bench. Isley is in, and so too is Antoine Carr. Carr tries to make a move on Kukoc. And there's a foul on Kukoc, his first.
Now, Bob, the reason Carr's in the game is because Utah was playing 4-on-5 offensively. With Adam Keefe in the game, Scottie Pippen wasn't going to guard him. Now you've got Kukoc who's going to have to play Antoine Carr. So now it's a 5-on-5 matchup. They've got to take advantage of this with Isley in now for Stockton.
Harper right now is on Malone. An illegal defense is called against Chicago.
Chuck, I think they should have started Antoine Carr. That center position is a revolving door for them with Ostertag and Foster, and it was important for them to get off to a good start. Now they've buried themselves and find themselves in a big hole.
Ostertag and Foster have given them nothing in this series. Good pass from Malone inside to Hornacek, who converts it. That's why their lack of scoring at center is why they were interested in Ronnie Cycli and tried to get him from Orlando in a trade that eventually was voided. Jordan over Russell. Rebound to Carr, who immediately makes his presence felt.
Michael Jordan's illegal now, so the Bulls are all running around.
And it's their second illegal defense, which will result in a technical foul shot being taken.
And Jerry Sloan just got a technical. Phil Johnson comes over and settles him down a little bit. Jerry's got to maintain his composure right now. He just got the illegal defensive call for a technical, and then he follows it up with a technical of his own.
If he was arguing for the illegal defense, that's a cruel irony for him because he got the call, but now the technicals may cancel each other out. It's Jordan to shoot it first. We're told by Jim Gray from the Utah bench that the reason Sloan got his technical was arguing about this. When he was knocked down by Kukoc, there was no foul called, and that's what had Jerry hot.
Remember, that's the same thing that he did against Longley to bait him into his 5th foul in here in game 2. So I don't think the referees went for that today. I think that was a good no call.
Hornacek, an 89% free throw shooter, swishes it at the other end. Bulls with the ball, down by 7. Scott Burrell is on Russell. Rodman on Malone. And Rodman's going to be hit with a foul, I think. It is on Dennis, his first. Folks, you can log on to MSNBCSports.com as NBA Showtime extends its coverage to the internet. Check out Bill Walton's game previews, plus click on in-depth video features from NBC Sports. And you can chat with Bill Walton tomorrow at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at MSNBCSports.com. That's a look at today's page. Malone missed the first. But not the second. To give you an idea how close this series has been, other than the Game 3 blowout, the 9-point lead the Bulls enjoyed a short while ago was the biggest lead for either team in any game, other than Game 3, of course. Kukoc misses, and Isley rebounds. Carr against Kukoc. Jumper over him is good.
So they've got to go to that matchup. There's no way Tony Kukoc can play him. He's too powerful down there.
And Chicago wants to talk it over. Their 9-point lead has been cut to 4 with 2:58 to play in the first.
Antoine Carr is a much-needed force here. They've got to have 5 guys on the floor that can shoot the basketball to keep Chicago honest on defense. Antoine Carr with the little bang. He gets the space and makes the open jump shot. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Why you need Antoine Carr? You're going to see they're going to stay mostly at home on the perimeter against these players. All he has to do is take his time. Kukoc is not going to block his shot. Bump him a little bit and use his power down there. Now, the one thing he has to be concerned about is Kukoc loves to play defense from behind, so he can't be careless with the ball where Tony can come from behind him, Bob, and slap that thing away.
Meanwhile, we played 9 minutes. Karl Malone has attempted only 1 shot, which he made.
But he's put the pressure on the defense. He's gone to the basket, and what he's done, he's got them in the penalty here early by drawing a lot of fouls on Longley and Rodman. That will take its toll as the game goes on, Bob.
The seldom used Bill Wennington is in, along with Scott Burrell and Steve Kerr. Rodman and Jordan complete the 5 on the floor for Phil Jackson right now. Michael dishes out to Burrell. And Russell reaches in and knocks it away with 3 on the shot clock.
When Michael gives that ball up, you've got to really work hard and not let him catch it back, and that's what he did that time. Russell, excellent D.
Got to shoot it quickly. Jordan will with a hand in his face. Burrell skies for the rebound. Loose to the side, and eventually it's Utah who has it. Here's Hornacek. A pull-up 3. It's hard to imagine Utah winning the next 2 games and taking the title unless Hornacek hits shots like that, which outside of game 2 in this series, he hasn't been doing. Shot clock violation. Michael gave it up. They weren't even close to hosting a shot before 24 seconds.
Terrific team defense. But Isaiah, the play before, Brian Russell went down on the floor, knocked the loose ball away, and Hornacek got the 3. Those are the hustle plays that this crowd creates from this team, and they're going to need all of those today.
And this is the second time in this series where you've seen Michael Jordan lose track of the shot clock, which is very uncharacteristic for him.
Isley, who's quicker than Kerr, is guarded by Steve as he comes out of the backcourt. It's Malone. And it's Utah with the lead. Only moments ago, they trailed by 9.
Carr came in, Isley giving him good minutes. That's been the difference.
Jordan. Rodman on the offensive glass. Wennington, a good look. Wennington will hit the open jumper.
Offensive rebounds were such a key here. When the Bulls won game 2, they did not shoot well, but they got 18 offensive rebounds.
Moving down toward a minute to play in the first. Chicago by 1. And a whistle from Dick Pavetta. Another illegal defense.
That's on Michael Jordan. He got 2 zones below his man. Hornacek stayed out behind the 3-point line. Michael dropped down 2 areas, and he was spotted. Now, it helps that Jerry Sloan is sitting there in the referee's ear, helping him see Michael Jordan.
Hornacek hits the technical. Watch the byplay here between Malone and Rodman. A sign of respect, actually, it appeared to me.
You're it.
Chris Morris comes off the bench, making his first appearance for Utah. Antoine Carr gets a breather. There have been 3 illegal defense calls in this first quarter against Chicago.
Now, Bob, Antoine Carr is not a guy who plays heavy minutes. So I think what Jerry Sloan's going to try to do is maybe give him 5 or 6 minutes here or there to try to keep him as fresh as possible.
Kukoc comes in as soon as Carr goes out. Kukoc having trouble covering Carr defensively earlier in the game. Isley bounces to Malone. Tough shot, but he cans it. Jordan over Russell. Tied at 22 with half a minute to play in the period. Malone against Wennington. Off balance, hit it, plus the foul.
See, Bob, that's what I'm talking about, being aggressive, Isaiah. Taking the ball to the basket. Isley with the give and go. He doesn't settle for the jump shot. He puts the pressure on the defense, and it's a tough shot. And the same thing, he sees Wennington on him. He says, no way I can get this shot. He bodies up. Now an opportunity for a three-point play, which would give his team a 3-point lead.
And the weak spot for the Chicago Bulls is when you get past Longley and Rodman, they have nothing behind them. Wennington can't hold Malone, and that's where they miss the big guys in terms of Caffey and O'Brien Williams. And Malone is smart to get into their bench now.
A dozen from Malone in the first quarter. A perfect 4 of 4 from the field. Almost as important, Hornacek has contributed 9. They need him. Kukoc. They had a foul to give. It looked like he traveled, but just before that, the whistle blew for the foul.
Now, Chris Morris slapped him from behind, so he took the good foul. Bulls will have to inbound the ball with 0.4 seconds to go, and Greg Foster's going to come into the game. Now, Bob, the reason he's in right now, and you give him a rest here at the end of the quarter, the last 8.4 seconds, and then the time during the break.
Jordan, double teamed, forces up the quarter's final shot and misses it. A better start for Carl than for Michael. Once down by 9, Utah leads after 1 by 3. And you're watching the NBA on NBC.
Scottie Pippen re-injured his back on that dunk shot that he had just at the beginning of the game. He has been in the locker room for the past 5 or 6 minutes trying to stretch that back out. He has both doctors in there. They're just trying to see what they can do to get him ready to play. And if anything else happens, I will be here to report it to you. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks a lot. Guys, as we begin the second quarter with Utah up by 3, something significant. They were able to make a run and turn this game around a bit with Howard Isley on the floor rather than John Stockton. And Isley did not play well for them in Chicago, so much so that Jerry Sloan barely used him with the game in doubt on Friday night.
Well, they went on a 17-5 run with Stockton sitting down, but also a key, they brought Antoine Carr in for Keefe. So they got another offensive player in there, Bob. That was real critical for them.
As Jim Gray reported before the game, Isley has been suffering from vertigo. Apparently not dizzied by the heights of Game 6 tonight. Shandon Anderson with a nice move.
Every time Anderson comes in, they immediately go into post against either Burrell or Bushler.
Jordan opens the second quarter on the bench, which is usually the way Phil Jackson plays it. Whistle away from the ball from Hugh Hollins.
Again, Isaiah, Shandon Anderson in the post, and he just backs Scott Burrell down. Nobody helps him out. And that's a big weapon for them coming off the bench.
And, Doug, the danger is when you don't finish your job at home, Scottie Pippen comes on the road, he gets hurt. I remember when we were in the finals playing against the Los Angeles Lakers, and I got injured in the Game 6, sprained my ankle, turned the whole series around, and that's what may happen here.
Anderson picked up the foul a moment ago, and then it's Foster following him. 2 quick Utah personals here in the first minute of the second quarter. Knocked away from Wennington, ball loose, chased down by Foster. But then he loses it. An unforced error, to use tennis terminology. There were 2 white shirts there.
See, Bob, the difference right now is when you're resting Michael Jordan. With Pippen hurt, he's not out there with the anchor of that second team. Now you've got a team out there. Who's going to run the show? Who's going to be the guy to make sure that they run their offense and get the shots that they want? So this really hurts with Scottie Pippen being out of the lineup right now, because you have to rest Michael Jordan at some point.
Kukoc is the only starter for either team on the floor right now. Foster on Tony. Winnington travels.
Playing out of character. Bill Winnington is a catch-and-shoot player. He's not a guy, Isaiah, that puts the ball on the floor.
Rodman to the scorer's table. He'll have to wait till the next whistle. Which comes almost right away. Another illegal defense against Chicago, the 4th.
Now, see, the reason that's illegal is Chris Morris is out above the three-point line. Jud Buechler can be no lower than the foul line. When he drops below that foul line, he's automatically illegal.
So Isley is selected to shoot the tee. After the first illegal defense, every subsequent one against you results in a technical foul shot.
See, Chris Morris is going to be out above the three. Look where Buechler is. He's illegal right now. So that's the call, and that's why they get the free throw.
Utah by 6. Foster on the move. And throws it away. 2 atrocious turnovers by Foster on consecutive possessions.
Trying to do too much. Keep the game simple. You'll get minutes on the floor.
Kukoc. Chris Morris pulls in the rebound. Carr from Isley. Missed it off the glass. Rodman, good pass to Kukoc.
Great back cut by Kukoc. He set him up, then back cut, faked him off the screen. Great pass by Rodman. Great look by Kukoc.
See, Isaiah, though, Foster's got to push him over the top. That's what they did in the game 5, and Tony got 7 points to start the game.
Carr trying to back in on Rodman. It's off Anderson's hands, but recovered by Isley. 2 seconds to shoot. And he hits the 3. Are they calling the shot clock violation? Let's see. Dick Pavetta says yes. And they wave it off, though it appeared to me as if he had beaten it. See if the ball isn't out of his hand. 1 second. It's on the way, and they missed the call. Timeout with Utah's lead, still only 4.
It's a big break for the Chicago Bulls. Howard Isley lets this shot go. He gets it out of his hands, and you're going to see here, look, the shot clock actually should be at 1 here, but the ball is off. Right there, you see it. The ball is in the air at 1. That should have counted. That's a big turnaround, and the Bulls get a big break there. Instead of up 7 Utah, now it's only a 4-point game.
Jim Gray tells us that on the Utah bench, Jerry Sloan said, that's horrible, but I can't get thrown out of the game. He already has 1 technical and can't risk another. We have a further report on Scottie Pippen. Here's Ahmad.
All right, Bob, I just found out that they're working on Scottie Pippen in the back, and I've been told that Scottie says he's telling the medical staff that he is not able to play. So that could be the end of it for Scottie tonight. Bob?
Jud Buechler, who may get more minutes as a result, hits the shot from the side. Michael Jordan is also back in. after resting about 2.5 minutes at the outset of the second quarter.
Now, if you remember, Buechler came in and gave Chicago big minutes in that Indiana series. He's going to need to do that again here tonight with no Pippen.
Malone around Rodman to the hoop and missed it. Out of bounds off Utah.
See, Luke Longley was just big there around the basket, and he forced Malone into a miss. Carl tried to get contact to get the foul, and it caused him to miss the layup, but Longley stood strong that time.
Utah does not have a single offensive rebound in this game. In Game 5, they had better success on the offensive glass than at any other time in the series. Contact between Anderson and Kerr. Offensive foul on Chicago.
See, teams really complain a lot about this because this is a pet play by Chicago. They make this little inside reverse pivot. Watch Kerr as the man goes by, and he bumps him off on the turn. That's a good call. I know in coaching against Chicago, I used to always warn the officials on that play because if you can let him turn, it's a very difficult play to guard, see?
It's like the 49ers linemen used to do with that whiplash play where they kick their feet out and throw the defenders off balance.
Now it's Buechler who's nailed with a personal. Isley has just gone out. Stockton back in at point guard. Ryan Russell has also returned to Utah's lineup. That's Russell with the ball. Malone from Carr. And he walked with it.
See, Antoine Carr's got to be ready to step in and shoot that ball. They're doubling down on the block now, and Karl Malone swung him the basketball. He's got to shoot it. Those are the same shots he had the other night in Game 5 that he buried to help them get the win.
The Bulls can tie with a basket here or take the lead with a 3. Jordan in and out on him, and Carr claims it. Carr from Stockton.
There you go. There you go.
Now you see Carr pull up and hit the 15-footer, but a moment ago he pulled up and missed that little easy bank shot off the glass. That 15-footer dead on is a better shot for him to take than the one off the glass.
Jordan wheels inside around Anderson, and again it's a 2-point game. Michael has 10. Malone in traffic, got his own and put it back in.
That's that first offensive rebound that you talked about. Malone get it and got 2 points.
Malone feels very confident against Longley and Rodman right now. He feels that he can get anything that he wants underneath.
Jordan, daylight for 3. 13 for Michael. Utah by 1. If Pippen can't go the rest of this game, and if there is a Game 7, inside it goes to Carr, and he hits the layup. How much more of the load can Jordan possibly carry? He played 45 minutes on Friday night. It's taking him a whole lot of shots to get his points through the finals. But if he doesn't step up, other than Kukoc, who else can? Here is Tony.
To follow up on your point, Bob, this would be a very wearing game for Jordan. To try to tire him down and wear him out. It'd be interesting to see if he'll have enough at the end of the game because of the minutes he's going to have to play.
Malone, tough catch, gathers it in, fade away. Carr to follow. Knocked away from behind, and he was fouled. It's number 1 on Jordan.
John Stockton with a beautiful pass in rhythm to Antoine Carr, and the pull-up jump shot on the secondary break. And then Karl Malone working once again in the post. He backs himself down strong. Misses it, but the great effort and the great hands to get the ball back and the finish. And in a give and go, the back door, the weak side help, Anderson finds Antoine Carr underneath, and the little finger roll, and Utah leads by 1.
Shot back at the Delta Center. Now an update on Scottie Pippen. The time that he was doing the stretching, trying to see if he could come back and play, he was in the officials' dressing room trying to get the stretching. He has now moved from that locker room to his own locker room, but the word is that he's still unable to play. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks a lot. What was the most important regular season game of the year? Undoubtedly the one at midseason here at the Delta Center, where Utah trailed the Bulls by 24 points early, 41-17, and rallied to win. Changed the outcome of that one game. And this series would have opened and ended if a 6th and 7th were required in Chicago rather than in Salt Lake City. It was that win that gave Utah home court and gives them a Game 7 if one is necessary here at the Delta Center rather than on the road. And do the Bulls face the remainder of this game and a possible 7th game either without Scottie Pippen or with a weakened Scottie Pippen?
See, with the Bulls depleted right now, the Jazz must keep the pace of this game up. They've got to use their superior depth and just keep trying to wear Michael Jordan down.
Jordan into the lane. Tough shot. He was fouled. He'll come to the line with a chance to tie it.
So they really made the switch in Game 5. They started Russell on him, did a good job, and then they came in with Anderson. They put Hornacek on Pippen, and that really had an effect because Michael had to work a little bit harder in the post against Russell.
This is the 103rd game of the season for the Bulls and for Michael Jordan. Antoine Carr going out. Jordan hasn't missed a single game since he returned from baseball. Ron Harper returns to the Chicago lineup. He has also played more minutes than at any time since the '92 season when he was a much younger man. And now with Pippen ailing, he'll be asked to do even more if that's possible. Slips it through a crowd to Anderson, who misses the floater. Rodman juggles the rebound but saves it in. Only his 2nd rebound tonight and only his 5th in the last game and a half after such a strong performance in Game 4. Michael springs free and takes the lob from Kukoc.
Great roll off for Russell. Faked up and spent off him. Kukoc put it right there for the easy lay-in for Jordan. I'm noticing, Doug, every time Malone gets it on the low post now, they're coming to double team, trying to keep Rodman out of foul trouble.
Hornacek returns it to Malone. Now has it back in a crowd and misses. Anderson flies in, can't hit the tip. Malone another try, and there it is for Utah.
You see, Rodman didn't even try to contest that shot underneath. Don't want to get in foul trouble, so Malone's going to have his way down there. Just have to be careful and take his time and not draw offensive foul.
Riding the seesaw, now it's Utah's turn to lead. Stockton knocked it away, Chicago ball. Phil's still lobbying for that travel on Malone on the last possession, but ain't gonna happen. Michael, head fake, he traveled. So Phil got the traveling call, but certainly not on the guy he wanted.
And Steve Kerr just said to Pavetta, hey, call it on Malone down at the other end. I talked to Rodman after the last game, and he felt that Malone traveled a lot. That's why he was able to get away from him.
Malone in the lane. Up and under against Rodman.
He's getting such deep position right now in Rodman. The Utah Jazz are executing their offense to perfection.
18 for the mailman. Jordan for 3. And there's his answer.
I think that's his 3rd 3 of the game, Bob. And going into this game, Kukoc and Pippen were a combined 4 for 23 from 3 at the Delta Center in the first 2 games.
It is his 3rd tonight, and he has 19 points. Malone tries to answer, and can, and he has 20. A Jordan-Malone duel shaping up in Game 6. Kukoc on the run. He's in double figures now with 10.
Isaiah, how much is it going to take him to figure out that he's a left-handed player? And you can't let him come with a strong hand. You got to send him back to help.
He's such a good dribbler, and he gives you that hitch move, and it draws you out of position, and he gets you every time with it.
Kukoc on Russell. Gives him some room, and Russell accepts the challenge and drills the jumper. Utah by 2.
You got to make Tony Kukoc play defense, and that's what Brian Russell did on that possession.
It was Russell's first basket. Here's Michael. He's got 21.
I'm watching Jordan, and he's in such a nice rhythm offensively. Everything is coming very easy to him. And right now, they have to be really careful because this looks like this could be a 40-point game from him.
Tied at 43. Shaping up as a higher scoring game than we've generally had in this series. It's Hornacek.
See, Malone is getting the ball on the block where he wants it. They're running splits, they're running post-ups, and the Jazz are in a great rhythm right now.
Timeout, Chicago. Utah by 2 with 1:49 to play in the half. Coming up on the Prudential halftime report, Hannah Storm talks with Phil Jackson, who reflects on his years with the Chicago Bulls. Some pretty good memories, lots of question marks for the immediate future for the coach of the 5-time world champions. That's at halftime.
Let's watch the Michael Jordan possession that he scored on. Brian Russell, as he cuts, is going to give him a shot. Michael doesn't like it. Michael delivers a blow right there. So Russell pushes him back, and he catches it. Now you got an angry Michael Jordan. He squares up and buries the shot. So the referees let both of them get a blow in, and Michael finished with a jump shot.
8 of 14 thus far. Down by 2, the Bulls put it in play. Jordan's the guy they want, even more so than usual, and that's why. 15 of his 23 have come in this quarter. Hornacek off the back iron. After the missed 3, Chicago comes back, looking to take the lead. Russell trying to contend with Michael. Finally, he misses one. Anderson tries to save it, but was on the line.
Bob, the only thing you can hope for right now is that Michael Jordan's going to run out of energy because he is in an unbelievable scoring mode. The backup and the fadeaway, and he hits the jump shot, and then he comes back the next time, but he's wanting the ball in every possession. Can he play at this pace if Scottie Pippen can't play at all in the second half?
If ever there has been an athlete, at least in recent history, able to will himself beyond even his considerable physical talents, it has been Michael Jordan. As Skip Bayless of the Chicago Tribune put it earlier in the playoffs, he's that rarest of athletes, a supremely talented overachiever. Stockton's all over Kerr. Now it's Hornacek on Michael. Fade away. He's missed 2 in a row now. Hornacek brings it back the other way. Stockton from Malone.
Beautiful slip on that play. Stockton went across like he was going to set the screen on Longley. Michael relaxed just a moment. He slipped it. The give and go, Isaiah. That was a beautiful play.
And Doug, now that Malone has really taken advantage of Chicago inside, now the perimeter will free up. Now they have to pay attention to Malone. Now Stockton and Hornacek will be able to step up and play and get involved.
They were just putting a couple of seconds back onto the clock. Michael for 3. Hornacek takes the rebound. Jordan had made 3 3-pointers earlier in the half. He's now missed 3 shots in succession.
Big possession here for the Jazz. A chance to get this crowd alive and up 4 going in at half.
Shot clock and game clock virtually identical. Stockton, foul. Chicago had a foul to give. Utah ball from the side, still plenty of time. 6.9.
They love to run high screen roll here with Stockton and Malone. Hornacek works in behind the ball, or Russell for a 3-point shot.
The foul was on Kerr, his second. He goes out. Harper in. Better defensive player anyway. Malone. The bounce to Russell. 2 big assists in the last couple of possessions for Malone. 3 seconds. Michael to half court. From there. Almost. So Jordan had 23, matching his number in the first half, but missed his last 4. Malone generally more accurate in the course of scoring 20. Utah by 4, trying to force a Game 7. The Prudential halftime report is coming up next. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
This is the Prudential halftime report, brought to you by Prudential, bringing strength and stability to America's families through insurance, healthcare, real estate, and financial services.
It's halftime of Game 6 of the NBA Finals with the Jazz leading the Bulls 49-45. Michael Jordan has more than half of Chicago's points with 23. Karl Malone's terrific play continues for Utah. He has 20 points on 8 for 11 shooting. Hi, everyone. Hannah Storm back in Utah. Whether or not the Bulls are able to defeat the Jazz in this series, it seems apparent that Phil Jackson is coaching his final game or 2 for Chicago. Earlier today, I asked Jackson to look back on some of his most memorable moments as coach of the Bulls.
And now, memories like the corner of my mind.
Misty watercolor memories of the way we were. Your Chicago Bulls!
I think probably the most important moment is maybe the first meeting I had with Michael Jordan when I was the head coach and told him what we were going to do and asked him to be a willing partner to this collection. Shares leadership. I wanted him to share the ball with his teammates because so many of the plays originated with him and went through him that teams could focus solely on him defensively. That was probably the key moment for our team growing and the system being bought by Michael.
And the Chicago Bulls have won their first ever NBA championship.
We're going to Disneyland.
The first championship was a wonderful thing, and that championship, Michael found his teammates. He found John Paxson for 6 or so jump shots in the fourth quarter. It really changed the direction of that game and helped us win the final game. And then I think the Phoenix game in our first three-peat, in which everybody touched the ball on the floor and John Paxson knocked down a three-pointer, was really a climactic moment that just demonstrated the team play of that group.
Tonight, the Chicago Bulls uncover their new look for the 1995-96 season.
In this era of the late 90s of winning these championships, I think the inclusion of Dennis Rodman in this group is probably our peak addition. It was Mike Hall. And then bringing Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan in and talking to them about Dennis and how they felt the team would handle what his presence brought to our team, and accepting him for who he is, not what he does.
You still set the standard for greatness, determination, and leadership.
What was your most memorable moment with Michael Jordan?
Well, I think it was the day he came back to the ball club in March of, I think it was 95. I can't remember the year specifically, but that year he decided to come back. And we were watching tape in our film room after a ball game, and he shows up, and I knew right then that he was back. He was back to play. And it wasn't announced for a week and a half or so, but that was really probably the best moment because there was just a connection that, hey, I'm going to come back and try this again. This is where I belong. I want to play basketball.
You got to move the ball. I want to have a
split cuts, which we send this guy early. This guy goes early. He goes ahead of the pass even.
How many times through this season, maybe even Friday night, have you thought, this is the last time I'll do this. This is the last time that I may be coaching at the United Center, coaching Michael Jordan?
Somewhere on the drive home, the whole family was in the car together, and they were just saying, Dad, that's the last time you go down there. And I said, yeah, you know, I packed my bags and brought them a collection of riffraff that's in my office home, you know, a couple days earlier, so I wouldn't have to think about it at this game, and try and not attach too much to that. It's sentimental, it's nostalgic, but I don't want to get hung up there.
So you've already cleared out your office?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not coming back?
Pretty much so.
You afraid to look ahead, maybe the emotions that you might feel, just trying to focus on the moment then?
Well, the head's a kind of a darkened path, you know, behind is all lit up, but it's, you know, where we've been, and right now, you know, unless we get this 6th championship, we'll always be known as the team that couldn't quite finish it out. We had our opportunity, which is what we wanted, but we got to complete the story, and this is a great story.
And so far, this story is a cliffhanger with a final chapter yet to be written. When we return, we'll get a preview of golf's U.S. Open, but first a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. Welcome back to Utah, and a quick update now from Ahmad Rashad on Scottie Pippen's back condition. He is getting electrical stimulation right now on the injury. He is still in quite a bit of pain, and at this moment, he is still unable to play. He's played only 7 minutes in this game, scoring 4 points. Now, 4 days from now, the 98th U.S. Open Golf Championship gets this summer. According to a report in the Boston Globe, the 12 NBA players selected to the U.S. team have decided to boycott the championships if the NBA imposes a lockout on July 1st. Meanwhile, the Utah Jazz trying to take the NBA Finals to a 7th game. They lead the Bulls by 4. We send it back to Bob, Doug, and Isaiah for the second half after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential, bringing strength and stability to America's families through insurance, healthcare, real estate, and financial services.
Michael Jordan had 23 on 9 of 19 in the first half. Karl Malone scored 20, and it took him only 11 shots, of which he made 8. Utah in front by 4 at 49-45. With Doug Collins and Isaiah Thomas, we welcome you back to the Delta Center. Just prior to the start of the second half, we take a look at the Miller Lite halftime stats.
Bob, a great half by both teams shooting the basketball. Michael Jordan took 19 of the 33 shots with the Scottie not being out there. Can he keep that pace up? And Rodman only 2 rebounds. They're going to need his energy. And for Utah, Antoine Carr came off the bench and gave him 7 points. So he's now 19 points in the last 4 quarters. Utah shot 61%, and Hornacek, Malone, and Stockton were 14 of 22 for 35 points.
And you look at Malone leading the Jazz with 20 points. Hornacek, more importantly, with 11. You see Malone going inside, which has freed Hornacek up to play outside. Hornacek only averaging 9 attempts in this series, already put up 8 shots. Michael Jordan leading the way for Chicago with 23 points, and Kukoc with 10. Now Chicago must find a third scorer. You look at Jordan scoring most of his points from the left side of the court, loves to play on the right side. Let's watch and see in the second half if he can get some shots off in the second on the right side of the court.
You never know.
The center where the Jazz lead the Bulls by 4. Now the big story here in the first half has been the condition of Scottie Pippen's back. He has really been hurting. But during the halftime, the massage therapist gave him ice, massaged his back, was having spasms. He got the spasms to stop, and Scottie Pippen is back out here on the floor. Whether or not he'll be able to play and play effectively, we'll find out. He is starting the second half. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Well, they thought that Scottie Pippen was going to be out of the game, so Jerry Sloan told his guys they were going to focus a lot more attention on Michael Jordan. All of that, of course, could change now. Very unhappy with the way they defended the screens. He wants them to get over the screens instead of running through them. Happy with everything offensively. Bob?
All right, Jim, and here we go. Utah in possession as we start the third quarter. Malone right to work. Hornacek on Pippen. It's Kukoc. The three spins out. Hornacek with rebound position. Utah in front by 6. Stockton pounding the dribble into the floor. Now into the lane he goes. Outside to Russell. Head fake. Now Stockton. Air ball grabbed by Keith. Blocked back in his face by Pippen, and a 24-second violation as they never hit the rim.
Now remember, when Adam Keefe was in the game as a starter, Utah got off to a very slow first quarter start because they were playing 4-on-5. So if that starts to occur, Jerry Sloan might have to go to his bench. Adam Keefe has got to be an offensive rebounder. He's got to be aggressive.
4 of the first 5 games were very close and very exciting. But through the first half, this is actually the best played game, the best pace and rhythm of any of the games of the series. Longley out to Scotty with 5 seconds to shoot. It'll be Kukoc. He has 12.
Now Scotty's back out on the floor, but he's still moving very gingerly.
Malone inside and a whistle before the shot, and a Chicago foul.
Now you watch Scottie Pippen, and let's take a look at how he's running. You see, he's laboring to get up and down the court. That back is still bothering him. Let's see how he goes.
The foul was Longley's 3rd. Stockton stumbles. And on the steal, Chicago recovers the ball and asks for timeout. Coach, is that the time you want to use one? It does preserve the possession, but you use up a timeout.
Well, Phil has the option here to take a 20 if he wants it, so it looks like he wants to save his 20, use the timeout now. Harper with a great hustle play. You're going to see him roll over and get the timeout before Utah can force the jump ball.
So we'll step aside with 10:03 to play in the 3rd.
If necessary, Game 7, Wednesday at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on NBC. Even more basketball.
Well, the last 2 MVPs have been Michael Jordan and Karl Malone, so you see them working their magic. Michael feels the pressure, reverses for the lob. The fading jump shot been terrific, and Karl Malone with the great hands in the second shot, then the deep post position on Rodman in the layup. And he, too, with the fading jump shot. So both of these guys have been terrific for their individual teams today. It's been the best played game offensively we've had in the series.
And in recognition of this look inside the game, Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Chicago ball down by 4. Pippen's jumper over Hornacek won't go. Malone waits for the traffic to clear, then hands to Stockton. Malone against Longley. And a foul, and if it's Longley, it's his 4th.
He's just not quick enough, Isaiah, to get up and body him, because when he makes the first quick step, Luke can't slide over and get in front of him. He sticks his knee out. Now, this is twice in this quarter. Malone has gotten a layup the first possession, and now he's gotten 2 fouls. He bodies up against him, he sticks the left knee out, and Malone goes right to the basket to get the contact.
Longley's got to be a little smarter down there. He's giving Malone no resistance, Doug. I'm watching him as he's moving around. He's not even trying to guard him. Just poor defense by Longley. And great offense by Malone.
He sits, Rodman enters. Russell for 3. Malone in between 2 red shirts, pulls it down, and now he and Rodman all tangled up. And it's Malone's turn to laugh and taunt a bit.
It's a great hustle play by Karl Malone. You're going to see him. He just wants the basketball. 2 Chicago Bulls, and he reaches in there with those powerful arms and just rips it away. The foul on Dennis Rodman.
His 2nd. Hornacek into the lane. Knocked away from him, but another Chicago foul. It's the Bulls' 4th foul, barely more than 3 minutes into the period. Utah doesn't have one yet. Michael hit with his 2nd. This summer, NBC gives you double Frasier's every week. Tuesday at its regular time and a Sunday episode too. Must-see comedy with Frasier Tuesday and Sunday all summer on NBC.
See, it's so important for Karl Malone to attack the defense, Isaiah. So even though he doesn't shoot free throws, he gets them in foul trouble. Now 4 team fouls. So from here on in, the next foul that the Bulls commit, Utah will shoot free throws. That could be very vital for them scoring here in this 3rd period.
Doug, I love the way Karl Malone is playing right now. I mean, he's doing everything for the Utah Jazz.
Jordan pulls up and connects. 25 for MJ.
See, Jerry Sloan is very upset. Adam Keefe did not show out on that screen. Michael came off there, not with the idea of passing. He knew his team needed 2 points.
Malone from 20. Keefe got a hand on it and then pokes it away from Jordan and out of bounds. Pippen is on the floor, but not with his usual ball handling responsibilities. This is Scotty out high, immediately returns it to Harper. A little jump hook is good.
Just the presence of Pippen on the floor, you've got to be able to honor him, and he's a great post feeder.
Chicago back to within 2. Malone from Hornacek. Rodman managed to wrest it away from him, then Harper takes it. Malone argues that he was fouled. It's Kukoc dealing it out to Rodman. Harper trying to tie the game, but hold on, says Danny Crawford. Foul on Stockton is 2nd.
Now Malone got great post position here. He's got to finish this play. He leaves it short on the rim, and then the second effort, he thought he got fouled on the wrist there, and he did get fouled, so he should be upset on that play.
Adam Keefe out, Chris Morris in for Utah. Here's Jordan. Off the back iron, Rodman trying to keep it alive. A tremendous hustling attempt, but Utah gets the ball.
Now you're saying, why Chris Morris? Because he's a better offensive player, and he can play against a Tony Kukoc. You say, why not Antoine Carr? I think Jerry Sloan knows he's only got so much gas in his tank, and he'd like to have it for the 4th quarter.
Malone had it go through his hands, and Rodman takes it.
I don't know, Doug. If I'm Jerry Sloan, I put Antoine Carr in the game. I don't mess around. I don't mess around with Chris Morris.
Kukoc can't tie it. Malone clears it. Stockton into the lane, tried the up and under on Harper, but it wouldn't go. And Chicago gets it back. That rhythm and flow, which we saw almost throughout the first half, pretty much has disappeared here in a choppy 3rd quarter.
Bob, I just saw eye contact. Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Scottie normally brings the ball up. He said, Michael, you come get it. Michael does not want to bring the ball up the floor. He has to use too much energy that way.
Is Pippen anything more than a decoy now on offense for Chicago?
He's the initiator of the offense. That's all he can do is be a post feeder and be a presence out there just so that they have to honor him.
4 seconds to shoot. Jordan missed it just before the shot clock sounds. Rodman battling like crazy, but can't quite hold on to it. Hornacek, he and Malone, Rodman and Malone, and Rodman just trips Malone up. They got to call a flagrant here. They've got to call a flagrant. It's the 3rd on Rodman. He and Karl Malone, regrettably, are scheduled to wrestle in one of those bogus events next month. Why Malone wants to lower himself to that is anyone's guess. And Rodman apparently wants to start the wrestling now.
I tell you what, I love what I'm seeing, the battle between these two guys. They're fighting, giving it everything they got. Both of them are trying to push and shove and gain position. Karl Malone gives him a little knock. But at the end of the play, what I like the most is Malone and Rodman both gave each other a pat on the butt and said, hey, that's the way we play. That's the way we like to play.
Was a flagrant called for there? What do you think?
I don't think that's a flagrant foul. The officials looked at the play, and they knew both of them were bumping and shoving. I think that's just good, hard-nosed basketball.
We'll be back.
He is brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that whenever you feel good, it's Miller time. By the full line of vehicles from Mitsubishi, built for living. And by the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's?
Well, the series was way too pretty here in the first half. Now they're getting down to the basketball we've seen. Rodman and Malone go down. That's one. Here they go, two. Finally, the third time the foul is called. And I think it was a good no call that it wasn't a flagrant, because I think both guys were wrestling. And now watch Michael Jordan give Brian Russell a shot, and then Russell gives Michael a little pushback. So all of a sudden, temper's starting to flare here, little Bob, as we get down to the game 6 here in the fourth quarter.
Rodman very ineffective thus far. Just lost the best out of 3 falls to Malone. And after I watched the whole replay, I'd agree with you guys that a flagrant wasn't called for, because Malone had thrown that elbow up around the chin just before Rodman tripped him at the end of the whole wrestling sequence. So probably best just to call the foul on Rodman and leave it at that.
And Bob, that's Dennis Rodman's way of trying to get in Karl Malone's head. However, Karl Malone is smart enough as a basketball player that he's not going to let that throw him out of his rhythm. We saw where Dennis Rodman will get Alonzo Mourning out of his rhythm, or some of the other guys. Malone understands Dennis Rodman, and he's not going to let that stack bother him.
Malone has 23. And can't add to it. Kukoc takes it down. Chicago trails by 3 as we move inside 6 minutes to play in the third. Here's Pippen. The bad back makes Hornacek's assignment on him a whole lot easier. Left alone, he doesn't take the 3. Michael, fade away.
See, if I'm Hornacek, I make Pippen make one of those shots. He's really rushing out to close out on him. He's got to show me he can shoot that ball before I'm too concerned with him. I got to be more worried about Michael Jordan.
Jordan has 27 to Malone's 23. Here's Malone again. He was fouled. The basket would have counted, but it wouldn't stay down. It's on Pippen his first.
Now you watch Michael Jordan on the repost, takes a quick bounce, the reverse spin, fakes Russell out and shoots a nice fadeaway tape. But I agree with you, Doug. I would make Scottie Pippen make one of those three-point shots before I leave Michael Jordan alone in the low post.
Malone is averaging 23.8 for the series coming into this game. That's exactly what he averaged in the 6-game loss last year to Chicago. But that average will go up a bit after today. Makes them both. Michael's pass to Scottie. And finally the tip drops. Rodman gets credit for the basket, but it looked like Pippen was not able to show us the usual body control that he'd normally have to finish off that play.
Usually he would dunk that ball.
Harper on the foul this time.
See, Isaiah, normally Scottie catches this ball in the back door and jumps up and power dunks this. You can see he could barely get off the floor, but Rodman with a great tip.
And when you have a back injury, Doug, it's hard for you to squat and use your legs to get the lift. So therefore, you're jumping from a standstill and straight up position.
Tonight on Dateline Sunday, a tornado rips through the Midwest. And the program also has survivor stories from Mount Rainier. That's Dateline tonight after the game. It's at 10 o'clock for those of you on the West Coast. Harper grabs the rebound as Stockton makes one of two. Utah by 2. Jordan off target, rebound Malone. Hornacek driving on Jordan, knocked away from him, still Utah ball. 4 on the shot clock. When Malone grabbed that last rebound, it was noticeable that Rodman backed away. He's already got 3 fouls, speaking of Dennis, and with Longley on the bench with 4 fouls and pretty much ineffective throughout the series when he has been in there, Rodman's got to be very careful. Knocked out, 3 on the shot clock. Howard Isley back on the floor now. Stockton getting a breather with 4:15 to play in the third. Pippen got a hand on it. They've got to shoot it in a hurry, and they can't get it off in time. 24-second violation against the Jazz. Is it time, as we get a quick look at Jerry Sloan and the laboring Scottie Pippen, is it about car time again?
Well, I think what Jerry's trying to do is buy as many minutes as possible. He's still got a 2-point lead. And Antoine Carr is a guy that maybe gives him 24, 25 points. And here he comes, or 25 minutes. Here he comes right back into the game. So Jerry realized that he needs somebody out there that can shoot the basketball.
Pippen giving it his best. And that time it was good enough.
As we said, with that back injury, that little jump hook in the middle is an easier shot for Pippen to shoot because he can extend with his long reach and his arm length.
Tied at 57. Hornacek had a good first half and hits this one.
They're really making Michael work on a lot of splits. Hornacek is being very active. They know that Michael is the majority of the offense today, so they've got to keep him in motion.
15 for Hornacek. Now trying to guard Pippen. Scottie splits the defense, can't hit the bank, but Rodman with a second tip.
That's the energy we talked about that the Bulls needed from Dennis Rodman. He gave them nothing in the first half. That's 2 tip-ins for 4 points here in this third period.
A whistle from Danny Crawford, a Chicago foul. It's on Pippen, and it's his second.
You watch Pippen in the low post. They come to double team with Russell, and as he goes up for the shot, that leaves Rodman's clear for a clear tap in on the offensive glass. Now you watch Pippen trying to get up and down the court. He's really laboring and really working hard.
Scottie has come out. Kukoc, Burrell, and Kerr all in. There's Pippen heading back to the locker room again to try to stretch out that ailing back. Russell missed the first, but connects on the second. Utah by 1.
Well, the only thing that's saving Utah in this quarter to keep them in the lead is the free throw line. Those early fouls have hurt Chicago, and Utah's taking advantage of it.
Kukoc knocked away, and there's a Utah foul. It's just their second of the period.
Doug, I've watched Jordan the last 4 plays, and he's picking his spots to get some rest out on the court. He's not playing Hornacek as tough because I think he knows that at the end of the game, he's going to have a lot of energy.
Rodman out to Michael. Now screening for him. Morris fights through the screen. Michael takes him baseline. Draws the contact and the foul. Michael's going to go to the line. Chicago, which generally has had many more free throws throughout the series than Utah, has hit 4 of 5 free throws in this game. Utah 15 of 21. As you said earlier, Doug, a huge difference.
Well, Chicago's done a good job now in this quarter of disrupting Utah's offense. It's not flowing as easily as it was. They took the fouls. They've got him on the free throw line, but you're not seeing the same open looks. I think with Rodman being out there, he really helped disrupt Malone's timing. Now Longley's back in the game, so we'll see if they're able to attack him either with Carr or Karl Malone.
Kukoc goes out as Longley checks back in. Tied again at 60. Malone left block where he likes it best against Rodman. When the double comes, he dishes it out to Carr. Now it's Hornacek. 3 seconds to shoot. Now they're going to have to force it. Hornacek off the back rim. Carr on the board. But there's a loose ball foul on Antoine Carr. It's his second.
You see how the Utah is using so much of the shot clock now? That's not what they did in the first half, Bob. They got their shots up earlier in the clock. Now the Bulls have them working against that shot clock. They're not getting good looks. And they're going to have to speed up the tempo of their offense now.
Jordan on the move against Morris. Double pumps. Misses the scoop. Malone will clear it. Inside 2 minutes to play in the period. Antoine Carr missed it.
I think the one guy that needs to get involved for Chicago right now is Luke Longley. He hasn't taken a shot the whole game. He's got to put some pressure on Malone in that low post.
Here's Burrell. He's off target. Back comes Utah looking for the lead. It's Chris Morris. Hornacek in the right place at the right time.
You see, early offense, they got the shot up, and they didn't let Chicago get back and get set up. And so even though they missed it, they got a chance for a second shot opportunity.
17 for Hornacek. Easily his best game since game 2. Michael confronted by Carr after he blew by Morris. And Jordan will come to the line.
The fast break here by Chris Morris. He doesn't get the shot to go, but you see Chicago now not guarding a man really, but an area. And there's Hornacek with the offensive rebound, Isaiah. They got to pick up the tempo a little bit. Right now, it's become too half court, and Chicago's got them in a situation using too much clock.
Michael misses the first as we check in with Jim Gray.
All right, John Stockton is now back on the bench. He was in the locker room for about the past 7 minutes. He was getting a chiropractic adjustment several places. He felt a little twinge, went back there, saw the chiropractor. They've worked it all out, and he will return to the game. Bob?
He's been struggling with something of a sore back throughout this series. 1 of 2. Utah by 1 and with the ball. Isley hands it to Carr. Isley much more effective here on his home floor than he was in Chicago. Gets the assist there. Longley's shot. Isley the rebound.
Last shot of the quarter here. Be big for Utah if they get a score. It will push it to 5 or 6.
They're on their feet at the Delta Center. Kerr on Isley. Around Keith's screen. Now he gets it back. And hits just before the buzzer. From pushing this to a game 7. Utah leads by 5. Getting a rare contribution, at least in this series, from Adam Keith. We're back after these words from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Transmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Howard Isley, after a miserable Game 5 with no points and 5 turnovers, today has been big. He's helped rest Stockton. You see the kick down to Antoine Carr and the dunk. And in the last possession of the quarter, makes a pass that Adam Keefe makes a terrific catch on behind him and finishes. Today, Isley has 1 point and 3 assists, no turnovers. He's given him good numbers off the bench, and Karl Malone likes the fact that he's watching and his team is increasing the lead.
As we start the fourth quarter, Michael Jordan has scored 29 points. He's 10 of 24. At one time, he was 9 of 15. That means he's just 1 of his last 9. He's played 34 of the 36 minutes so far after playing 45 of 48 on Friday night. Remember, in the fourth quarter Friday, he was just 1 of 7 from the floor. You have to believe fatigue is an important factor now.
I think with Michael Jordan, he's smart enough to rest on defense and try to conserve his energy for offense.
Here he is on offense. And he'll be coming to the foul line just as the fourth quarter starts. But even those poundings take something out of him, right, as he goes to the basket.
Now, those are the things that take the most energy out of you. And the reason why, because if you can imagine yourself, if you had to wrestle with an individual for 2 minutes, that's very tiresome. However, when you're running up and down the court, that's an aerobic exercise. That doesn't take a lot out of you. So him going to the basket, taking that pounding, that takes a lot more out of you.
And also right now is normally the time that Michael Jordan rests. He tries to rest the first couple minutes of the fourth quarter without Pippen. He's not going to get that rest. So we'll see what that does as the game wears on.
But Jordan is the one individual that I've seen in this game since I've played that can carry his team in the fourth quarter even when he's fatigued.
He's already played more games and more minutes than at any time in his career. Isley, big hoop for Utah.
Tell me confidence isn't an unbelievable thing. This is the same kid we watched in Game 5 who didn't even want to dribble the basketball. Today he's making some big plays for his team.
Jordan against Anderson. He's still Michael Jordan. Whatever he has lost through fatigue, through age, through whatever, has only brought him somewhat back to the field. He still leads the field. Morris out of the corner. Rodman with board position on Antoine Carr. Chris Morris has had a lot of open looks at threes like that in this series. Usually he's pretty good with them. In this series, he hasn't been able to hit them. Rodman drills a 20-footer and gives it that go-figure gesture.
Now remember, in Game 2 in here, he hit that same shot to tie the game. This one brings him to within 1.
Isley returns it to Keefe on the screen roll, and he blows the dunk. He argues that he was fouled, but he should have finished it anyway. Now Keefe heads for the bench, and Malone comes back. Chicago can take the lead.
See, now Malone has to guard Kukoc now on the perimeter. Watch that matchup.
Jordan between the legs and the jumper. Off target, rebound Morris. Malone hands it back to Morris, who converts on the reverse. Timeout, Chicago.
Now you watch Jordan using all his energy on offense. He goes drive hard to the left and shoots a fadeaway J. And then Rodman, go figure, right? Lined up straight in, shoots it right in, and even he's surprised. And you watch Chris Morris moving without the basketball. Malone with the beautiful feed. Morris with the reverse layup off the glass. Beautiful basketball by Utah.
NBA on NBC is brought to you by Budweiser. Now is the perfect time to enjoy a fresh, cold Beechwood aged Budweiser. by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. And by BF Goodrich Tires. Take control.
Ahmad Rashad back at the Delta Center. Now the strategy on Scottie Pippen, they had him in the back. They were putting ice on his back and electrical stimulation for pain relief, and they were trying to bide their time up until the 10-minute mark to bring him back out and see if he could play the last 10 minutes of the game. As you can see, he's back. He's on the floor. We just have to see how it goes. Bob?
Ahmad thanks Michael Jordan's first rest of the second half, and you'd have to guess it will be brief.
Utah right now has got to force Phil Jackson's hand. They got to stop him, and they've got to get some scores to make him come back and not get his normal rest.
Kukoc spins to the hoop and misses the bank. Bushler chases it down.
They got a new shot clock. I didn't see that ball hit the rim.
Kukoc out of the corner. That one's short. And Malone grabs the rebound. And he asked for a 20-second timeout because he was in danger of toppling out of bounds.
I think what you're going to see right now with Chicago is Tony Kukoc is going to try to put the pressure defensively on Karl Malone. Isaiah, he's a first-team defensive player, but he's used to playing around the basket. Kukoc can beat him with his speed, and let's see if he tries to break him down out on the perimeter.
And the dangerous player and the X factor for Chicago on the floor right now is J.A.B. Buchler. Keep your eye on him because he'll come up with the hustle plays and the energy plays to keep Chicago involved.
Stockton now is back into the game after that 20-second timeout, so he too has had back problems. He's back in now for the finish.
Until he has exploded in the last couple of games, all the talk about Karl Malone concerned his scoring, but he has always been a terrific all-round player. Tonight, more evidence. 25 points, yes, but 10 rebounds and 6 assists. And we still have 9:16 remaining. Stockton on the dribble against Kerr, trying to find Malone, but they get a hand on it, and Rodman grabs it. Kukoc, a three would tie it. 4 seconds to shoot. Stockton knocked it away from Kerr. Malone tumbles. Should be a 24-second violation since no one had established clear possession of that loose ball, and that is what's called.
How about Karl Malone going for this loose ball? Now, John Stockton normally will come up with this ball. You can see he can't bend over with that back, but Karl Malone with a great hustle play that gives his team that opportunity now for the loose ball on the 24-second shot clock violation.
Michael is at the scorer's table. He's coming back. The next time play stops.
Remember now they like to go to Anderson in the post on Bushler.
Carr from 20 feet. It spins out and Rodman is there. Brian Russell comes off Jerry Sloan's bench. As soon as he saw that Jordan was about to come back in, he calls on Russell, who probably will guard it. Kukoc to tie it.
There was a great screen by Steve Kerr to open up Tony Kukoc, sacrificed his body, took on the bigger Malone, so Kukoc can nail the three.
15 for Tony.
Utah's got to get some movement.
Morris to a cutting Anderson, who was bumped. The basket may count. It does.
Bob, you can see now, Karl Malone has a tough time on the perimeter. He doesn't like to play out here, so he gets bumped and he just tries to run through the screen. Kukoc gets the bare three and knocks it down. And in the good movement here, you got to get a slash and a cut to get to the basket. Too much standing around for Utah. An opportunity now for the three-point play, which they get.
The foul on Kerr was his third. Jordan back in. Takes the pass from Pippen. Russell is on him. He gets by him. Now Carr comes over and commits the foul.
You see, they're so conscious of Michael Jordan coming off the screen. He gave Russell the fake. Then he came baseline, and watch as he braces himself to absorb the contact, knows that he's going to get fouled. He's going to go to the line. Watch Jordan at the end of this game, the last 7 minutes, Doug, attacking the basket, trying to get to the foul line.
See, Michael is too good at finishing, though. You can't give him that baseline drive because he's going to get a foul. Isaiah, you got to push him back to the middle where you can help.
Jordan is now 7 of 10 at the line. Kerr out, Harper in. We're told that the brief stoppage was because of a sign one of the fans was holding, and it had some offensive language on it. So they had it removed. Dennis Rodman, we're told, was the only player to protest its removal. Hornacek guarded by Jordan. Malone over Dennis. Rebound Pippen. Hornacek slapping at it. Scotty just hobbling around. The foul is on Antoine Carr, and that's his fourth.
Utah has gotten very stagnant here right now, Isaiah. They've really bogged down and really started in the third quarter. The free throw line kept them in it, but right now they're really struggling scoring.
And this was Chicago's defense has been dominant against Utah in the fourth quarter.
Jordan with the jumper. And with 37 points, as Utah falls behind now for the first time since midway through the second quarter.
See, he's headed for 40. I would start double teaming Jordan every time he touched it.
Brian Russell went down, and there's a foul on Kukoc.
Doug, you talk about wanting to bring Jordan to the middle, but his game is so complete. And when you bring him to the middle, he's able to come right to that right hand, square up, and shoot it right from the free throw line.
It's Chicago by 1, and you're watching the NBA on NBC.
Welcome back to the Delta Center. I'm Jim Gray. Jerry Sloan during this timeout told his team we can't keep playing this stagnant offense and walking the ball up the court. We need some cutters. He wants to push the ball, try and get some fast break opportunities off the rebounds. Wants them to set some picks and run off the picks, create some movement in the offense. Bob?
Jim, thanks. A look at the numbers for Jordan and Malone.
If Jerry Sloan wants fast break points, they have to turn to John Stockton right now to push the tempo. And thus far, he's only attempted 4 field goals at 5 points, 4 assists, and 3 turnovers. Stockton has to come through big for him down the stretch.
What's happened also, too, when Malone's getting the rebound, he's holding it, and rather than outletting where they can run.
Here is Stockton with Harper on him. Antoine Carr. Malone, 3 defenders on him, and they take it away. It's Pippen wincing as he comes up with the loose ball. Jordan over Hornacek. Short. A whistle underneath from Danny Crawford. Stay right here. Loose ball foul on Utah.
See, Malone's catching the ball in the post. He's getting double and triple team right now. He's got to be a passer out of this post. You see Pippen there knock the ball away from him. But if there are 3 guys on him and you space the floor, somebody's got to be open.
And Doug, what Chicago is saying right now, we're not going to let Karl Malone beat us. Someone else is going to have to step up and beat us tonight.
Pippen, who can barely move, throws it in. In almost any other situation, he couldn't possibly be playing. Regular season, never. Even earlier in the playoffs, he'd probably be sitting. Jordan again. And Stockton pulls it down.
This is where they got to push it, get something quickly.
Underneath to Carl, and he was fouled.
It was a nice feed by John Stockton, pushing it up the court, catching Malone early in the offense, right underneath the basket. Malone did a great job of sealing and drawing the foul.
4 on Rodman.
Michael's upset with himself right now. He's missed 2 jump shots that would have given his team a 3-point lead. He's really upset about that because both of them were very makeable shots that Michael normally makes.
And Russell has done a good job guarding Michael Jordan, forcing him to shoot jump shots and not really allowing him to get to the basket.
Malone busting loose with the huge game on Friday night. He had 20 in the first half. He's at 26 now after the free throw. Jordan leads all scorers with 37. He's 13 of 30 from the floor. Utah back in front by 1.
Steve Kerr now in for Chicago. Remember, he spaces the floor and gives them another shooter if they do start running at Michael and scrambling their defense.
Michael again. Russell takes it down. Stockton has a little daylight, and Utah has a 3-point lead.
Transition basketball again. The little screen by Malone, and he hits the open jump shot.
Kukoc. Kerr. Pippen in the lane. Connects on the turnaround, playing through clenched teeth. Malone. Rodman wins the rebound battle.
That's a bad foul on Malone now because that's the 5th team foul. Now Rodman will shoot 2 free throws, but Stockton pushing the ball up the floor. You see the screen right there by Antoine Carr, and Scottie Pippen cannot help out. And then Scottie Pippen with a quick post up in the lane, and the gutty effort by Scottie Pippen here. You can see as he catches the ball, it's so difficult, but he's got those long arms and can still score over Hornacek.
The foul on Malone a moment ago was only his 2nd. Rodman to the line. Remember, he made 4 clutch free throws in game 4. This one is long. Over the year, he's a 55% free throw shooter.
See, Isaiah, he shot that ball. As he shot it, he sort of walked away from it. He's got to stay with that shot.
Yeah, he didn't even take a look at the basket. He has to get set, take a look at it, and knock it down.
4:46 left. If he hits this, he can tie it. Stockton glancing at the clock as he comes across. 4.5 minutes for Utah to end its season or prolong it. Stockton, 5 seconds to shoot. It's Hornacek. Malone. They'll bring it back out. The jumper by Carl. Utah back in front.
Great patience. Offensive rebound, kick it out, and Hornacek got it right back to him.
Malone has 29. Seconds to shoot. Harper's not the guy they want to have do it, but he has to, and he beats the shot clock and cans a huge shot.
Doug, I think Utah is letting Scottie Pippen rest. I would go at him right now. He's trying to guard Antoine Carr, and Antoine Carr has a big advantage over him inside.
Russell. Driving against Rodman. Contact and a foul. Kukoc was also there, and they call it on Kukoc's 3rd.
Now you watch Harper as he takes this shot. Does he get it off in time? I don't know. That's a tough call.
Well, you know what? If they miss that call, it's a 5-point swing in missed calls on shot clock situations. They took a Howard Isley 3 away wrongly in the first half. This one was even closer, but it appeared that Harper may have been just a fraction of a second behind the shot clock. Harper's basket counted. This one by Isley, which should have counted, did not.
See, I think this three was good in the last shot that Harper took. I think that was a shot clock violation.
Russell steps to the line and knocks them both down. Stockton on Harper. Out to MJ for three. It's short. Hornacek pegging it ahead to Russell, but Michael, with whatever gas is left in his tank, gets back to pick it off. Rodman, offensive foul on Dennis. And that's 5.
Now, Isaiah, that's what you're talking about. Jumping out off that screen and make Michael Jordan be a passer. Throw it to Rodman, who can't finish.
And you saw Jordan right there complaining, saying Rodman needs to have a chance to come down. I thought it was a questionable call. When you look at this play, you watch Jordan come off the screen and he's double teamed, and as an offensive player, you're allowed to establish position and come down. It's a tough call right there.
Oh no, says Michael. The Jazz by a basket.
Remember last year in Game 4, Stockton to Malone that won the game. The long pass over the fingertips of Michael Jordan. Stockton with a great pass. Michael just misses it, and Malone gets the layup really to seal the win. Well, moments ago, were we going to see the same thing here? A chance to go up 4. Hornacek throws the pass, and Michael Jordan, with every ounce of energy that he has, goes up and gets the skill. He misses the shot, the 3 that would have put him up 1. Had this gone through, it would have been a 4-point lead for the Jazz. Michael gets back and makes the great steal.
Jordan has 37 points on 13 of 32. 2 of 7 in the 4th. He is 3 of 14 in his last 2 fourth quarters. Even Superman apparently gets tired. Malone, lots of room. Got it.
That's their pet play. Malone goes over like he's going to the post and screens for Stockton, and he rolls out and hits the huge jump shot.
Jordan spinning. Double team. Has to get rid of it. Gets it right back from Pippen. Double pump, knocked away by Carr, and a foul.
Isaiah, normally on this play, Malone goes to the post. This time he goes and screens so Stockton can get to the middle of the floor. A mix-up, they trap, no one rotates, and Malone buries the shot. Now, on this defensive possession, Hornacek, I thought, should have run at Michael Jordan and made him pass the ball back to Scottie Pippen.
You got to take the ball out of Jordan's hands right now and make Harper or Pippen beat you from the perimeter.
Jordan's 9 of 12 now at the stripe.
Now you look at the job that Russell is doing against Jordan. He's keeping him out on the perimeter, not allowing him to come into the post.
He hits them both, making it a 2-point game with exactly 2 minutes to play. Stockton. Russell with a huge rebound. Tried to throw it off Rodman's leg as he was walking a tightrope and couldn't do it. Chicago back looking to tie. Michael. Short. Rebound Stockton. The jumpers come up short when fatigue is a factor. It's true of anyone, even the best of them. Rodman got in front and knocked it loose, but Chicago touched it last. Phil Jackson hot over that call. A minute 14 remaining.
Watch Hornacek on this play, wrapping off a triple screen.
Stockton for three. That would have been a dagger in Chicago's heart. Instead, they can tie it or take the lead with a three of their own. Jordan. And a blocking foul. Stockton is down on the floor. Jordan's going to come to the line at Stockton's fourth.
You watch Jordan fake like he's coming to the middle again. Russell gives him the baseline. Stockton comes over a little too late. Call the blocking foul on Stockton. Jordan again at the free throw line.
20-second time, 20-second timeout.
Chicago takes a 20-second timeout.
Now you watch Jordan in the fourth quarter trying to get to the basket against Anderson. Pulls up and takes the jump shot. Again, they're keeping him out on the perimeter, not allowing him to get into the post. Coming to the foul line for his patented free throw line, Jay. But again, Russell keeping him out of the post. Pulls up, shoots it a little short. This is a big 20-second timeout for Chicago because it allows Jordan to get some rest before he goes to the free throw line to try to knock down two.
At the line, he's 10 of 13. From the floor, he's 13 of 33.
Well, in this fourth quarter, Michael is only 2 of 8 from the fourth quarter, but what he's done is he's been able to get to the free throw line. He's 6 of 6, so he's shooting his 7th and 8th free throws of the quarter. They've got to find a way to be able to guard him without fouling him here.
He cuts it to 1. Phil Jackson has told the Bulls during the last couple of timeouts, let's try to take it to the rack, go to the basket, not look for the perimeter shot. Jordan ties it. Maybe the 20-second timeout was, as much as anything, just to give him a breather to gather himself for the crucial free throws. 50 seconds. Malone. Cross-court Stockton, a three. It's there!
Guarding Stockton, who cuts through. Pippen is going to double team. So what happens now? Stockton's going to circle through, and Antoine Carr dives down, so Harper has to play him. Now on the skip-out pass, Stockton hits the three. What a huge shot to put his team up 3. Look how close his foot was to the line here. A 3 by inches. Now this is what Karl Malone has to do. He has to find the open man, and Harper runs at him. And normally it's Stockton and Malone. This time it was Malone to Stockton.
10 points for Stockton. At age 36, he's played more NBA playoff games than anyone in history without winning a title.
Now the Bulls would like to get 2-for-1 possession here. Try to get a quick score, get to the free throw line to give them 2 opportunities to 1.
Pippen into Jordan. Michael working on Russell. Brings them to within 1.
They scored within 4 seconds there. That's how quickly that changes now. Now it puts the pressure on the Jazz to score once again.
Jordan with 43. Malone is doubled. They swat at it and steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Timeout, Utah. 5.2 seconds left. Michael Jordan running on fumes with 45 points.
At the end of the game, you got to get it out of his hands. He's beat you so many times. You watch Jordan play, Doug, and you know that at the end of the game, he's a killer.
This was really the play that hurt Isaiah because they scored so quickly. Michael got in there and scored within 4 seconds. And what happened was Michael doubled back. You're going to see he's in the play. Look where Hornacek is setting the screen. Michael never clears, so Malone doesn't see him. He comes from the blind side and strips him. So 3 crucial plays here by Michael Jordan now as he gets Brian Russell with a quick crossover. Look at Brian Russell slips, and Michael pulls up and buries the shot to give him a 1-point lead.
That may have been, who knows what will unfold in the next several months, but that may have been the last shot Michael Jordan will ever take in the NBA.
Watch Jordan's left hand here as he gives Russell the push. The referee can't see that. Jordan frees himself up for a clean look. The greatest thing about Jordan is he has all the tricks. That's why it's so difficult to guard him.
If that's the last image of Michael Jordan, how magnificent is it?
I don't think you can put it into words, Bob. I mean, what he's done here in this 4th period, you see the 16 points. He got about a minute's rest and had to come back in. And Scottie Pippen has played a gutty game today, but still plenty of time here for Utah to try to score.
But that's what Jordan is so smart at with his brains. He rested on defense so he would have enough energy down the stretch to perform.
All right, 5.2 seconds. Utah down 1. Coach?
Well, you've got to do one of 2 things. You've either got to get the ball to a guy where he can attack the basket. Utah loves to run a play up at the top where they wrap a guy to the corner and then pin down and catch at the top. You know, if Malone gets it, they're probably going to run at him. Stockton and Hornacek have made key shots their entire career.
Stockton, Hornacek, Antoine Carr, Karl Malone, and Brian Russell. If they score, there's a game 7. If they don't, for the 2nd straight year, they go out in 6. Stockton, Harper's on him. Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their 2nd three-peat. When you lose by this narrow a margin, speaking of the Utah Jazz, there are so many things to look back on. But the Howard Isley 3 that was taken away in the first half will eat at them all summer long. Jackson and Jordan, perhaps for the last time. Chicago 87, Utah 86. Jerry Sloan showing class, trying to shake hands with each and every member of the Chicago Bulls, who won 2 out of 3 here and 2 out of 3 in Chicago.
Thanks, boy. David, thanks, boy. Thanks, Mike.
Statistically, especially in terms of shooting percentage, Michael Jordan has had better games. But when you consider at age 35, the games he's played this year, the grinding minutes he's played, and Scottie Pippen being all but incapacitated tonight, and the fact that they're on the road, and the fact that the odds would shift to Utah's favor for a game 7, yes, MJ rose again. He no longer needs accomplishments to prove his case as the greatest player in NBA history. He just adds to it. And if this is the final chapter, what a way to close the book.
I tell you, Bob, as you look at Scottie Pippen there, I remember all Scottie ever heard about was the migraine headache and that he couldn't play with pain. Well, today, They could not have won this game without him. Just his presence being out there. He made some big shots. He fed the post. He did all the little things for Chicago, and his numbers aren't going to show it. But Michael, once again, with the heroics, the unbelievable plays. But his sidekick, Scottie Pippen, was there for him when he needed him.
And I'm watching Michael Jordan hug his mother right there. Such a great player, such a great person. Everything that this game is about, the goodness of it, he represents, and what he's done for the game of basketball and for this Chicago Bulls organization. All of us as former athletes are very thankful to 23 in red.
Michael Jordan is as great a competitor as sports has ever seen. He also has an uncanny sense of theater. And as he makes his decision, he'll think about the fact that he could not ask for a better punctuation than this. He accepts a victory cigar from Jerry Reinsdorf to not only hit the winning basket, but have it be the last shot he takes this season, maybe the last he'll ever take in a Chicago Bulls uniform, to win the game and the championship by a point.
You know, Bob, it's interesting about Michael Jordan. He's a guy who has nothing to prove, but lives his life every day as if he has everything to prove. That's something about his greatness. He's an unbelievable athlete.
One more look at a shot you'll be seeing hundreds of times if you're a basketball fan. You'll see it dozens of times on the highlight shows tonight. Stockton gets rid of it. It's short. Harper had a hand in his face and maybe even got a small piece of the ball.
I thought Stockton had a great look right there. It was a well-executed play. Stockton and Malone, and that's who you want taking your last shot, because he's made so many big shots for Utah. You know, my heart goes out to Stockton and Malone, because those two, more than any other two athletes in this era, really deserve a shot at wearing a championship ring.
A shot can hardly come much closer than that without going in. For the celebration, here's Dan Roberts, the PA man.
And now, please direct your attention to center court for the presentation of the 1998 NBA Finals MVP and the Larry O'Brien Championship Trophy.
It is now time to make the 1998 Championship Trophy presentation. Joining me up here are the chairman, Jerry Reinsdorf, Vice President Jerry Krause, head coach Phil Jackson, and to make that presentation, here's the commissioner of the NBA, Mr. David Stern.
The two best teams in the NBA this season were the Utah Jazz and the Chicago Bulls. These two teams in these finals, wonderfully matched and motivated, treated the world of basketball to NBA basketball at its heart-stopping best. To both teams, thank you. But to the Chicago Bulls, the 1998 NBA champion, and a team for the ages, congratulations to this team, to this organization, to its fans, and to these great players.
All right, Mr. Reinsdorf. Chicago Bulls fans all over the world would like to know, are you going to do everything you can possible to bring these guys back here to try to do this all over again?
Well, let me first, Ahmad, say that on behalf of millions of Bulls fans all around the world, it's an honor to accept this trophy. It's only unfortunate that we can't have co-champions, because this Utah Jazz team is just the greatest team that we've ever played. 2 years in a row, they took us as far as you could take anybody. Winning six championships in 8 years is unbelievable. It's a tribute to a great coach and his staff, great players, Scottie and Michael, an unbelievable performance by Scottie and Payne tonight, Jerry Krause and his staff, just unbelievable. And on behalf of millions of Bulls fans all over the world, I can only hope and pray that Michael and Scottie will come back and defend the championship one more time.
I take that as a yes. You are going to try to bring them back. Jerry Krause, you have to be very proud of this team.
I'm so proud of these players and the staff. And this is for the fans back in Chicago, the greatest sports fans in the world. and we're just so happy. We're going to celebrate safe, guys, and we'll be home tomorrow morning.
All right, Jerry, let me ask you, you do everything you can to bring these guys back.
Well, you know, tonight all I want to do is celebrate and have fun, and we're gonna talk later on. But this is a great occasion, and what Jerry said about the Utah club, Jerry Sloan and Scotty Layden are special people, and this is just a great organization, and it's somebody that you're proud of that you can be with.
All right, Jerry, let's talk to Phil Jackson.
Yes, I'm on.
Once again, another journey to the top of the mountain. How is this one different from the other 5?
Well, Ahmad, we had to fight our way through this one. This is a real struggle for us this year against overwhelming odds. Maybe not as talented as the last 2 years, but they had a great heart. Hearts of a champion, as Michael has said. They won it.
All right, you will celebrate tonight. Are you going to come back?
Gee, that's a great question, Ahmad. I'll dodge that one right now. Thanks.
All right, Phil. All right, once again, it is now time for the 1998 NBA Finals Most Valuable Player Award. And once again, here's the Commissioner, David Stern.
Big surprise. 6 championships, 6 MVPs. Michael Jordan, get over here. You grace us with your presence. You've contributed mightily to our league. And tonight you gave one of the singular performances in the history of the NBA Finals. Thank you and congratulations, 1998 NBA Finals MVP, Michael Jordan.
Michael, you have won this award before, but somehow I have the feeling that this one is more special than all of them.
Well, let me say hello to my wife and my kids at home, because they desperately wanted to come. I didn't want them to come here today because I wanted to focus on the game, but I wish they were here to help me celebrate. I know they're there cheering, and I can't wait to get home. But to the Utah fans, you guys are a tough bunch to play in front of. You guys came out with a lot of loyalty and respect for your team. You made it really tough for us. We really, after losing Game 5 in Chicago, a couple of us dread coming back to Utah because we had to deal with the fans because of the energy that they bring to the game. But we had no choice, so we had to come in and play our best, and you guys made it a very competitive finals, and you know, it's very worthy to win this, and I think of all the championships that we've won, this is the toughest.
It doesn't get any easier, but at the beginning of the season, this was the goal that you set out for. How wonderful was it to make this into a reality?
Well, I tell you, when you start the season, I'm pretty sure every team next year is going to start with the focus of finishing and winning their last game. We started with that focus. It was a long road, a lot of different tasks and little bumps in the road, but somehow we made it, and I think everybody who looks at this year is going to have a lot of gratification and understanding and a lot of dedication.
There were a lot of times during the course of the season that people doubted the Chicago Bulls, doubted that you'd be able to come back and pull this off. Even during this finals series here, people doubted you. How did you guys stay so confident?
Well, I mean, this team is one. Our leadership is strong. Our leadership is very positive, very determined, and it filters down to the rest of the players. And we never let anybody give up. You know, we believed in it, and we kept coming for it.
All right, I've asked everybody if they're all going to come around to try to do this again. One more time?
I would love for that to happen. I think that's something that's got to have to be determined over the summer.
All right. Congratulations, Michael. Congratulations, Chicago Bulls. Let's go over to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmad. Tonight, one of the truly gutty performances in the finals by Scottie Pippen. Scottie, how badly were you hurt during this game?
I was hurting pretty bad, you know, to start the game off. I was able to get a dunk when I came down. The pain just sort of built from that point, and every time I tried to run, I was getting spasms, but I knew I wanted to come back and try to give a better performance in the second half, so I just tried to take advantage of that little bit of time before the half and, you know, see what I can do. And I came out the second half, and Chip wanted to give me a little treatment, and I took the treatment, and I told him from there I was going to just try to gut it out. You know, I felt like that my presence out on the floor would mean more than just sitting in the locker room.
Initially, you didn't think you could come back, and then the miracle happened there at halftime. How much did you revert back to some of the things that had happened to you in the past, and you knew that if you gutted it out this time that it could change all of that?
Well, I knew I was going to come back the second half. I have to correct you on that. I knew, but I just didn't know how much I was going to be able to give. I knew I wanted to just hope that the team could stay in the game, keep it close, and if I could come back out, let my presence be known out on the court.
Now, Scottie, you were in tears after the game. Was this your most difficult championship, and why the tears this time? Is it maybe because you feel it's ending?
Well, I think they all have brought tears to my eyes, but this one's so difficult because I felt like to some degree, without me being out on the court, that I was kind of letting the team down, and they understood. But, I wanted to be there. I wanted to be a present. I wanted to play a major role in the game, but the other guys came off the bench. They held us in there the first half, especially Michael. He had a heck of a game, and, everything else is history.
Now, you hold the key here to these teams returning. Michael said if you come back, he'll come back, and Phil and so forth. What are your thoughts? Will you come back? Would you take a one-year deal? What will go through your thought process in making this determination?
Well, Jim, right now, I just have to, let everything soak in. There's a lot of opportunities out there for me, and, I have to look more down the road at my future, but, I don't know. After all this soaks in and get back and get my back on track, you never know.
Is there a twinge of sadness with you, a little melancholy feeling right now that it may be ending?
Excuse me?
Are you feeling a little sad right now that this could be coming to a close?
No, not really. We're going to enjoy this, and, as long as we can. As a player right now, I don't feel like it's over. We got a lot of celebration to do, and I'm not really looking forward to next season right now.
Final thought, the Utah Jazz and Karl Malone, a spectacular effort. What would your thoughts be toward them?
It was great. Karl and John, they're some gutty performers. Whether it's Hornacek, Russell, who's grown and matured and, had a fabulous series. We take our hats off to this team. The fans here have really came out and made us work hard. It was a great series. It was a even better series than last series, even though, both series ended at 6 games. This topped it all.
Scotty, congratulations. A truly gutsy performance.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back now to Bob Costas.
Thanks, Jim. To back up the accolades offered to Karl Malone by Scottie Pippen, Malone had 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists in 43 minutes tonight. And even as they could not stop Scottie and Michael from claiming another title, Malone managed to average 25 points and 10.5 rebounds in the series. We'll talk with Karl Malone when we come back after this from your local station.
Congratulations, NBA champion Chicago Bulls. For a 6th time, it's Miller time. Miller Lite wants to remind you that whenever you feel good, it's Miller time.
We're back at the Delta Center, and just moments ago, Jim Gray spoke with Karl Malone.
I'm here with Karl Malone. Karl, can you begin to explain the disappointment you must be feeling right here at the end?
Well, without a doubt, I'm disappointed. We fought hard. Guys did the best, did a good job. But, it's tough. It's a tough loss for us. Got to be a professional, give them credit for it. They won the ball game.
Tell us about the last play and Michael Jordan. He came over and stripped you of the ball.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you got the ball. That's fine. That's part of it.
Karl, you've been a truly great player, and you come so close now to the championship. Will you return? Will you keep trying to get to the top of this mountain?
Well, I'm not a quitter. I just got to get away for a while and think about things. But, it's a tough one. It's a tough loss. Give them credit. They won. What else can you say?
Do you feel as though this was Michael Jordan's last game?
I don't know. I don't know if it was Michael's last game or not.
Scottie Pippen in tears over here. You're not sure about Michael Jordan. What did Scottie just say to you?
Oh, no, he just told me good game.
Well, you're a class act. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Among the many things you can say in praise of Karl Malone, he has never ducked the media. Win or lose, he is always there to stick his chin out and take it for better or worse. And tonight, another magnificent performance by Malone, but nevertheless, his team falls just a point short. Moments ago, Ahmad Rashad caught up with Dennis Rodman.
Okay, right? All right, thanks, Bob. Dennis, you said you didn't want to come back out to Utah, but none of this would have been possible unless you did come back out here.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't want to come back to Utah. But, how the world goes, it goes around in circles, so I guess we had to come back. So this was a very emotional win. It wasn't a physical game. It was a very emotional win as far as your mental aspect. But, got to give it to the team. Everybody stuck together. We won it.
All right, so people are now talking about what about next year? Are you coming back? Would you like to get everybody back together?
I would love to come back to Chicago. I mean, Chicago gave me my break. And, I'd love to be back if they want me back, but we'd like to get the whole nucleus back and form a team and get one last dance.
Dennis, you had a great season. Congratulations to a great champion.
Yes, everybody in Dallas. Way to go, baby.
All right, back to you, Bob.
Ahmad, thanks very much. Much more to come on the post-game show. We'll go into the locker rooms when we come back to the Delta Center in Salt Lake City right after this. In 6 games, a 6th championship for the Chicago Bulls. Back to Utah after this. As we return to the Delta Center, we're waiting to get access to the locker rooms. And in the meantime, let's go to the Showtime crew headed by Hannah Storm. Happy birthday, by the way, Hannah.
Thanks a lot, Bob. I think that was a very important detail we needed to cover at this point. But we'll get some final thoughts from you, Doug, and Isaiah in just a few moments. First, though, we have Peter Vesey, John Sally, and Bill Walton. And Bill, this championship, not just for the city of Chicago, but for Bulls fans and basketball fans around the world.
Hannah, the championships are so special. The style, the joy, the amazing grace of the Bulls. Just a priceless treasure for the entire world of basketball that just absolutely love the way they play. These guys are so good and have done so much for the sport of basketball. They demand our ultimate respect, which they certainly have. They also demand, though, to be kept together for absolutely as long as possible.
Well, Michael Jordan, the MVP tonight, his 6th MVP award, and he willed his team to a championship this evening. And Scottie Pippen, such a force in the series, and a courageous performance tonight, John, playing with that back injury.
Well, like I said, Scottie showed all kind of loyalty, and I hope the Chicago Bulls remember that, Hannah, that he came in, took a shot, went back and forth, did everything he could possibly do to play, being on the court. This guy showed the most unbelievable character. Even though Michael Jordan got that trophy, I think they gave it to Michael because they know Scottie couldn't carry it off. It was too heavy for him. But Michael should hand that over to him because he definitely was co-MVP.
Jordan with the final 8 points for his team tonight and the big steal down the stretch. Unbelievable.
Hannah, if Michael saw this as conceivably his last game with the Bulls, what chance did the Jazz really have? The stakes were much too high. However, if there's more to come, if Michael stays and the core stays intact, lucky us, we're game. If Michael does retire, we've been privileged. And if Michael stays and Pippen leaves, then what's left, Hannah? Let's find out which one can win a championship without the other one.
Well, at this point, we're going to go back down to the floor and get more post-game comments as we join Jim Gray. Jim?
All right. Thank you very much, Hannah. I'm now joined by Tony Kukoc and Ron Harper. Harp, let's start with you. You weren't feeling very good tonight, but you managed to play. How difficult was it for you out there?
Well, I had a tough half, I think. But the main thing was that we had guys that came in and played big. We had guys that made real key shots. We had some good defensive plays late in the ball game. And this was great. This was a great win for our team. Our hats off to the Jazz and their fans. It was a great series. And I'm happy it's over.
Can you describe for us, please, as a teammate, your thoughts on the performance of Scottie Pippen?
Oh, Scottie Pippen was courageous today. You know, he definitely didn't feel well, and I definitely knew that, and our teammate knew, and we lost him early during the half, but he came out in the last quarter and just played big for our basketball team, and he made some real key shots for us.
He went to put the champagne.
Harp, TK, you made the biggest shots for us.
Well, let's ask him. Tony, how sweet is this one compared to the others as you're now being doused with champagne as we all are in here?
This is the sweetest one. This is the toughest one that we got so far, but it's the sweetest one. Especially before early in the series, they said we are underdogs. When we lost the last game in Chicago, they said we have no chance coming in here, but we're still the champs.
You managed to step up your performance in this championship series. You've taken a lot of criticism. How personally satisfying is it for you to have that now behind you?
It's very satisfying for me. That's the way we Croatians are as survivors. And we're trying to do the same thing, just trying to play my best every time I step on the court.
You are one of the few guys who definitely will be back here next year. What are your thoughts on this team remaining intact?
If I can, if it's my decision, I will leave this team until it dies. I mean,
you think that will happen?
It's a great team. I hope it does. I hope it does. There's no reason to split the team that is winning, that is doing an incredible job on the court.
Phil closed the locker room here for about 7 minutes. What was it that he said to you guys as you all huddled together privately?
Nothing. Nothing new. It was just our own celebration.
What now? What do you think the timetable will be? There's a possible lockout looming now. What do you think the timetable will be for the return of Phil Jackson and then Michael and Scotty?
Nothing we can do. Just wait and hope that it's going to end up being good.
Tony, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, now let's send it back outside to Bob Costas.
Come on.
Jim, thanks again. There's more to come from Salt Lake City. We'll have more interviews and a look back at this Bulls dynasty when the postgame show rolls on after this. Bulls in their locker room again, Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Bob. Now, you talk about the big three of the Chicago Bulls. This is the big three right here. Steve, Judd, and Bill. No, here they are. These guys, no, what kind of a run was that for you guys this year?
Fantastic. I mean, you can't put it into words. I mean, it was a great time all year long. To end up like this, it's going to be an awfully fun summer.
And, Judge, you had such big moments in this final series. You kept telling me during the whole season, didn't he, that at halftime Phil kept saying, get the ball to Buechler.
That's the goal, but for some reason it ends up in Michael's hands. I don't know what to do about that.
That's ridiculous. Yes. And how was Steve? You took a beating tonight. I saw you do a pick. You got knocked down, then stepped on, and kept coming.
I always take a beating, Ahmad. That's the story of my career. But I'm just so happy to be a part of this. I mean, we just hopped on Michael's back, basically. The guy is a basketball god, and I'm glad he's on my team.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of guys don't realize that this is one of the closest knit teams that I've ever been around. Watching you guys over the past couple of years, they talk about Michael, Scotty, Dennis, but you guys are really a close-knit group.
We definitely are, and what a lot of people don't know is that we were Siamese triplets at birth, and we were separated about 2 months old, and we really are we really are close. We're having a lot of fun, and I must remark that, Ahmad, you are wearing a beautiful suit
Randy
today.
Brown. Randy Brown.
How you doing?
How you keep your eyes on? Oh, my God. How you keep your eyes on?
I love the sting.
You know, I wouldn't have ordered his raincoat if it was Dom Perignon, but that's cheap champagne. Why is it so cheap? I was wondering that myself.
It had the same.
Wait, now you keep your eyes open through this.
First ring, baby. My first one. It feels great, baby. It feels great, baby. It's Bud Light.
That's an awesome job of keeping your eyes open through this ordeal.
That's the end of this. I'm through with this. Let's go back to Hannah. Hannah?
Ahmad, I think you made yourself a target wearing that rain suit down there, but showing remarkable composure. Third NBA title for Buechler, Kerr, and Wennington, and the Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship of the decade. And who knows, it might have been 8 titles. Michael Jordan not retired for a year and a half back in 1993. Whether or not the Bulls return intact next season, we will not know for some time. What we do know is that the Bulls of Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Phil Jackson have been one of the great dynasties in sports history.
The Bulls win the championship! 70 has become a reality.
We're seeing the end of a terrific era here in the NBA.
How's it gonna be?
First ever NBA championship. Here's the Chicago Bulls have 3 straight NBA championships.
How's it gonna be when it goes down? How's it gonna be when you're not around? How's it gonna be when you found out there was nothing between you and me? 'Cause I don't care. How's it gonna be?
After a 2-year absence, the Chicago Bulls have regained the NBA throne.
How's it gonna be? How's it gonna be?
Here's Jordan. Yes!
They do it. The crowd
Well, as Phil Jackson told us earlier tonight, the Bulls have given us a remarkable story, and if indeed this is it for Michael Jordan and this incarnation of the Chicago Bulls, at least tonight they authored an ending of their own choosing. Let's send it back to Bob Costas.
Hannah, thanks very much. Guys, final thoughts?
Well, Bob, congratulations to the Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan, the greatest player ever, and a privilege and an honor for me to be able to be a part of this and watch both of these teams fight it out. But Chicago is just fabulous, and congratulations once again to them.
Zeke?
I'd like to say congratulations to Chicago also. Michael Jordan is truly the greatest of our time. No other athlete could have done what he did this year, sustaining his concentration despite doing everything that he wanted to do with all the distractions. Just great, great, great performance by Michael Jordan.
Guys, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Zeke, Doug. Well, for Bulls fans, there is, of course, cause for celebration tonight after a 6th championship that came harder than the others. But there's some anxiousness mixed in as well. Who knows how all of this will play out, but it's certainly possible that tonight we saw the last of the Chicago Bulls as we have known them. And whether it ends here or sometime in the near future, it'll be noteworthy not just for the breakup of one of the great teams in sports history, but because given the present structure of pro sports, it may be quite a while before we see anything like this again. Oh, the organizations that have the resources, the Yankees, the Braves, the Cowboys, the Lakers, and the NBA, will almost always field contending teams. But the days of continuity may be ending. Even on the best teams, there's now so much turnover that it's becoming ever harder to follow and identify with teams. Loyalty has been fragmented, which brings us to an underappreciated aspect of this golden era in the NBA. It hasn't just been Bird, Magic, and Michael. It was the whole recognizable cast of characters around them that gave the Celtics, the Lakers, and the Bulls their texture and made following them all the more interesting. Even the Jazz, noble runners-up 2 years in a row, are personified by the longest tenured coach in the league and 2 Hall of Famers who have been teammates for well over a decade. We'll see championship teams in the future, but will we see teams that endure this way? And as for Michael Jordan, all the superlatives have been exhausted and almost all apply. But perhaps the most important one is this: he's authentic. His essence is so much deeper than image. In fact, the image is, in his case, an amplification of something true and substantive. Take all the money, all the adulation, all the TV cameras away, and put Michael Jordan in a gym somewhere with Russell and Oscar, West and the Doctor, and he'd be as genuine and as much in his element as any of them. His heart and his athletic integrity every bit as impressive as his artistry. So whenever it ends, it's been an incredible ride for Jordan and the Bulls, and we at NBC have been privileged to be taken along for that ride. So as we say goodnight, we'd like to acknowledge the work of all the people who made these telecasts possible. For everyone at NBC Sports, good night from Salt Lake City.
And knowing that it might be the end of a very special era?
Well, I think it's bittersweet in the sense that it was the toughest route, the toughest challenge that we've had in the 6 championships that we've won. In some people's eyes, no one expected us to fulfill this, and that was part of the challenge. You know, and in the 5 before that, everybody predicted us in some respects, and it was a hands-down situation. Here it wasn't, you know, and we had to do it against a team that, you know, played well all season long, played at home, had a crowd that was really energetic and kept them motivated, and you know, we lost our opportunities to win it at home, and we came here. I mean, at first, you know, as soon as the games ended in Chicago, it was some dim feelings and some negative thoughts, you know, and as time went past, I think everybody realized that, you know, if we want that 6th title, we have to go through Utah to get it, you know, and we have to go out there and win it out there. So, I mean, you know, I think those negative thoughts erased very quickly, as, you know, and it's a great day for everybody, I think.
Michael, few people in the world face retirement with so many others caring about the decision that he makes. You mean so much to so many people, to the league, to the other players, to the networks, even to the economy. How do you make the right decision for Michael Jordan, the human being, independent of all of the other people and forces that are tugging on you?
You know, it's a gut feeling. You know, it's just a feeling that I have. You know, when I walked away the first time, it was a feeling. It wasn't something someone told me. When I came back, it was a feeling. You know, if and when that time comes where I got to walk away, I hope that because I walked away, no one look at me any less. You know, and sure, the economy may take a different turn, but I would advise you to invest wisely. And you know, my life has to continue. You know, hopefully I'll put enough memories out there for everybody to at least have some thoughts about what Michael Jordan did in his 13 years or 14 years or whatever it takes, and put some comparisons up there for kids to follow and compare themselves and reach, you know, and that's a part of the challenge. And, you know, I have another life, and I know I have to get to it, you know, at some point in time, and hopefully the fans and the people understand that.
Michael, you said last week that this was the toughest year for Coach Jackson as a coach. What about you as a player?
It was tough. You know, it was tough in the sense that I was more competitive than I ever was because I wanted to win more than I ever did, you know, because of some of the bumps in the road, you know, Scotty being out. You know, Dennis, you know, had to step up, and every now and then we had to, you know, deal with Dennis and deal with the different types of expectations, you know, some of the, you know, criticism about our team and the lifestyle that we live, and you know, it's bearing on it. It just takes its toll on an individual, you know, and sure, we just have to keep looking at the bigger picture, you know, which is tonight. It's the biggest picture we could think of, and sure, sometimes the pictures don't look so clearly, but if you keep moving in the right direction, it's going to clear itself up, and tonight is very, very clear.
Michael, you just won your 6th championship with Scotty and Coach Jackson. As a man who lives as a player who lives with challenges, how much is a challenge is it for you to win one without them?
Pretty sure it's a major challenge, you know. But the question is, do I want to do that or not? You know, that's the things that has to be debated over the summer.
Michael, how frustrating it is, or at least annoying, to have to talk that much about your future tonight?
Say that again?
How frustrating, or at least annoying, is it to have to talk that much about your future and the future of the team tonight?
It's not annoying. I mean, most people have been waiting for that, and you know, my answer is, I mean, there's still a lot of unanswered questions, and tonight it's a lot of sympathetic feelings about, you know, this team and where we want it to go. But as time, you know, it gets involved, I mean, some of the feelings may change. You never know. But I think that's the purpose of waiting to the end of the summer, or in the summer, and making final decisions.
Michael, the other night, you seemed so intrigued by the thought of, you know, dropping the last 3 and possibly walking away. The fact that you played such a great last minute and had a game-winning shot, title-winning shot, is that going to, you know, do you like the idea of going out that way?
Yes. If that's the case, yes. I mean, when I got that rebound, sure, I mean, my thoughts are very positive, you know, and the crowd gets quiet. The the moment starts to become the moment, for me, and that's what we've been, that's part of that Zen Buddhism stuff, the moment, once you get in the moment, when you're there, things start to move slowly, you start to see the court very well, you start reading what the defenses are trying to do, and I saw that moment, and, when I saw the moment, the opportunity to take advantage of it when Russell reached, and I took advantage of that moment, and I never doubted myself. I never doubted the whole game. We were hanging too close. It was a 3-point game, 4-point game, 5-point game. Scottie Pippen's hurt. Dennis and everybody's in foul trouble, and they never really burst out and left us standing. And we kept hanging in there, and I knew that we were going to have an opportunity to win this game, and I just wanted to be able to do that. And from an offensive standpoint, you look at my rebounds. I only had maybe 2 or 3 rebounds, and I told Phil that, I know I'm going to have to play a lot of minutes. I have to conserve energy somewhere, and unfortunately, had to be on the rebounding edge, but the offense, I had to step forward.
Okay, last question for Michael.
Michael, after John hit that three-pointer, you scored the last 4 points. You actually scored the last 8, but you scored the last 4 on baskets. Talk about those last 2 baskets, your layup, and then the jumper. And did that jumper remind you of last year, Game 1, with Brian guarding you? He reached, you went.
It was in a very similar situation. The play before that was, with Karl Malone. We've been trying to double team him. And Hornacek was trying to, I guess, pick Karl Malone, and he never really cleared, which gave me an opportunity to go back. And Karl never saw me coming, and I was able to knock the ball away. The play before that was when Phil called an isolation play for me, to take it to the hole and make him foul me or get an easy basket, which is what I did. But when I got the ball, I looked up and I saw 18.5 seconds left, and I felt like we couldn't call a timeout because it gave defenses an opportunity to set up, and it was a do-or-die situation. So I let the time tick to where I felt like I had the court right where I wanted to, and Stockton was on the right-hand side with Steve Kerr. I knew he couldn't gamble because Steve has killed him before. So, and as soon as Russell reached, he gave me a clear lane, which, I made my initial drive, and, he bid on it, and I stopped, pulled up, and I had an easy jump shot. Great look, and it went in. And once it went in, I knew from that point on we've been hanging around long enough. This is a game-winning basket. Now it's just a matter of playing solid defense. And our defense has held us strong all series. And we would never be in this scenario without our defense. So all we had to do was play defense for 5.8 minutes, or 5.8 seconds, and I knew we can do that.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. Next up, we'll have Scottie Pippen and Ron Harper.
Michael Jordan, 45 points. Tony Kukoc has also been a key during this series. Let's jump in here and try to get Tony live.
Any feelings towards the team, towards everything that happened? For yourself? For myself, it's just it's a great thing, and we should celebrate this thing as much as we can, and the time is going to come, and time is going to show us what's going to happen next.
What a Tony, with everything by Michael Jordan tonight, going out there with Scottie Pippen injured and playing, really fantastic under the circumstances.
I expected that one game.
I think, the Jazz gave me the easy shot that really worked against me at the start of the game. I got that dunk, and from that point on, I just started to feel spasms in my back as I run every time I put my right leg down, and I just tried to gut it out and was able to get 6-7 minutes in the first half. And after I told Phil to take me out the game, it was just very difficult for me. I tried to run in and back and do whatever I could. And I just decided at that point that I would just take as much treatment as I could and try to go out and do what I could the next 24 minutes, hoping that, some type of presence out on the court could make a difference, open up some opportunities. And, I just did my best. But I have to give credit to my teammates. They came out and really held it together in the first half. Michael really put the scoring load on his shoulders and, just did what he could. And, he had an outstanding performance. It was a great team win, but you can't overlook what he's done for this team, especially in today's game.
Scottie, for years, your courage had been questioned by people in Chicago and elsewhere. The migraine headaches, the 1.8 seconds. Is it important to you that this performance changes people's minds about your courage and toughness?
Not exactly. I just wanted to get this series over with. I want the team to stay close and allow me the opportunity to come out and give my best 24 minutes, which didn't look that great, especially in my eye, but it was important for me to just try to be on the court and make my presence known and try to be effective any way possible. I think I have great knowledge of the game and knowing what I could do and a lot of things that I could not do out there, but I don't reflect on those things. I just try to go out and play for my teammates and give the best performance that I can and try to come away to win. I didn't want to be looking at a Game 7 knowing that I'm not 100% and we're pretty much having our backs against the wall playing on their court.
Scotty, last year Michael sat at the podium and talked about how important it was to bring everyone back for one more year. Even with what you said at different times during the season, wouldn't you like to do one more year and forget rebuilding, maybe sign a one-year deal? Is that a possibility?
I'm not thinking about that right now. Give me a couple days and I'll give you an answer. But right now I just want to enjoy this moment and, you know, get myself feeling good again physically. I have to just sit back and enjoy this moment, and you know, I'll just see what's going to happen. You know, it's
possibility.
Anything is possible.
Next question.
Scotty, you know Michael as well as anybody, certainly as a competitor, and as he considers his future, at some point his physical skills will decline. We know that it has to happen.
They haven't declined yet, so I can't agree with that.
Do you think at some point he could accept playing without being the most dominant player in the sport?
No. No, not at all. I mean, Michael has probably got another 5 years left on his career. I mean, even before we can even see a decline in it. I mean, because he has so much knowledge of the game. There's other things that, you know, he knows that is waiting in his game that he can always pull out. And right now we're seeing him probably at the top of his game because he used so much knowledge as well as the physical skills that he has when he's out on the court.
Scotty, I know you don't want to talk about your future particularly, but if this was the end of this particular Bulls group...
Who's talking?
Right here. If this is the end of this group of Bulls being together, how great a run was it in your opinion?
Wonderful. Tremendously. I mean, it's unforgettable. I mean, it's something that I'll be able to look back and cherish for the rest of my life, you know, to be able to win 6 titles in the last 8 years. It's been a great run for us. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of celebrations, and you know, I can never see any other team in the future being as dominant as this ball club has been. And, you know, you hate to see it come to an end, and you don't want to see it come to an end. I mean, we feel like that we're dominant, even though we weren't 100% healthy, especially myself going in these last couple games. But it's been a lot of fun, and that's part of winning, is being able to have the courage and desire to go out and do whatever you can to bring your team to the top.
Okay, we are taking questions for both players.
Yeah, don't y'all forget.
No. Let him
Don't y'all forget Ron.
He's down the ball anyway, so let him go ahead.
For Ron Harper, Michael Jordan, judging by the press conferences, was almost hilarious after the 2 games you lost. How much of a factor was it with his leadership helping you getting by those defeats?
Well, you know, here's a guy that does a lot for our basketball team, and without his sad part there, early during this ball game, he was the guy who was holding us there, and he came in during halftime, and he felt that we still had this basketball game, and the main thing that he said was for us to go out there and to get him some help, and once his sidekick came back, it was just one game that we hung in there, and we had a very good chance of, and it was a very great ball game, and our hat goes off to him, to the guys on this basketball team. It was a great win for our team.
Ron, you feel like with this series in particular that you're finally getting the recognition you deserve?
I don't care about that. You know, when I first came in this league, everybody said he can shoot the ball and do this slash and do this slam dunk. All them things don't mean anything. This is my 3rd championship, and if I would have to change my game again, I would probably change it again, I think.
Scotty, over here. Scotty.
Yeah.
What exactly was your injury and how did it happen?
Took too many charges from Karl Malone.
You was out the club too long.
Yeah, I took a lot of hard falls, you know, not just in this series, but this is something that's probably going back even far as the Indiana series. You know, just getting thrown to the floor, and I had a very sore back and took a couple falls in the last game that really threw me off, and I just lost a lot of my mechanics for its moving out on the court and being aggressive and coming over and attacking. And I felt like that was something that affected us in Game 5, that I didn't have the energy, the mobility to be aggressive from a defensive standpoint, and as well as offense. I settled for a lot of jumpers, 0 for 7 from the three-point line, 2 for 16 from the game. Those things really worked against me, and defensively, I wasn't the same player. You know, even looking back at a lot of the tape of that game, they were saying how Utah had countered and were able to take advantage of me being able to come over and double team, and it was pretty much only because I wasn't physically mobile enough to get up and move. But as a result, we were able to counter, and we came away with a win.
Ron, if this team isn't back intact, how do you see your role changing next season? How good do you think this team can be?
I actually don't know. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna think about what if and what's going to happen to this basketball team. I'm gonna just enjoy these next few days, this offseason. I'm going to enjoy, and I'm going to wait to see what happened to my best friend on this team, and hope whatever happen for him, because you know he been a great teammate, and he was the one who called me to be here, and if he want to be a Chicago Bull to be on this team again, it's up to him. To my man Scotty. And if you don't want to be a Bull, I'm going to be cheering for him anyway.
Okay, last question.
Okay, Ron, you had great defense on Stockton this game and throughout the series. Talk about the three-pointer that he made and the three-pointer that he didn't make in the last 5 seconds.
Well, you understand, he's the kind of guy who runs his team. He has the basketball all the time, man. Everything goes through his hands. And last year, I didn't have fun. This year, I for sure said that I'm going to have fun. I'm going to do the things that I know that I can do. I use my size on him, and I just have fun out there. And the shot that he made was a very, very tough shot. And the last shot that he didn't make, I was relieved, put it that way. See y'all.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen. Harper ill, food poisoning,
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen injured, and still a world championship
Just
team
shows you what
tonight.
heart can do. Now let's go out to the Delta Center. John's out there right now. John, what's up?
All right, well, we're fighting through the Bulls locker room right now, and life doesn't get any better than this. We're waiting to try to find Michael Jordan, who was at the podium. Everybody hanging on and me getting a full face. Thank you very much. The Bulls personnel showering us with champagne, and everybody feeling good. We're going to grab Dennis real quick. We're going to get in there. Dennis Rodman, talk to me about this. Everything you've been through, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You won championships in Detroit. You've won it here with Chicago. How special and different was this one with everything you went through on and off the court?
It's one of those emotional wins. I mean, for the whole team, you know, and the 15 people, the 20 people that's here that play in this game. You just can't ask for anything better. They can't write a script anything better than this tonight. And you know, it's just, I don't know what really to say.
I know you're almost speechless, but talk about Phil Jackson, what he's been for you as a coach. A lot of coaches wouldn't put up with this, but you were able to connect with him like no other coach you've played for, and he came out and got the best out of you. Talk about that relationship.
I think me and Phil relate real well because I think when he was in his younger, in his prime playing basketball, I think he was the same kind of guy I was. And I think he could really focus, you know, and zoom in on what I was really going through the last 3 years, the off-the-court antics and things like that. And I really respect Phil because he gives me the leeway. He knows this is the way I play basketball. I'm not your norm guy to go out there 2 hours for a game, get prepared. No, I got to really, you know, do my own thing and really get in there.
World Wrestling, marrying yourself, book signings, all those things off the court. How were you guys able to forge that relationship? Because, again, most coaches don't have the patience.
Well, yeah, the patience because you know how the quality of people that we have that plays this game. The boys have 12 individuals that really knows the game and they're very gifted and crafted. And Phil knows that. That's the good thing about it. Most coaches don't know that. They want to come in with this college attitude where you do this, do this, do this, do this. They don't do that. You let the guys be men. Let them grow up as men, not as boys.
What does this championship mean to Dennis Rod?
Well, it means to me that we come back to Chicago and everybody keep the damn bars open because we'll be back tonight, baby. That's what it means right now. That's what it means.
Speaking of coming back, how can you break this team up now? You've got 6. I know everybody's here just chomping at the bit for that shot at number 7. I mean, what's the thinking on the team?
I think the thing on the team is where we're going to enjoy this for the next 3 or 4 months, and hopefully that the NBA strike won't lock everybody out. And if it does, you know, we just got a lot of time to think about it, and hopefully that the Chicago Bulls and the organization will say, hey, let's try it one more time. Just one more time and call it quits, the farewell tour.
You've been a part of this organization now for 3 years, 3 titles. What makes this team so special? I mean, the guts and things we don't see on the court all the day. When you're out in practice, making it happen and connecting. Again, strange combinations. You got Michael, Mr. Clean. You're the other side of it. Scotty's kind of on his own. Tell me about this.
People don't really understand how this team works. And if you come right in the middle of this circle, you're like, everybody has their own little thing going. And once we get there, put our foot in the circle, we all the same people. We all love each other. We want to care about each other and do the thing that it takes to win. And tonight was a perfect example of that. We never quit. We never quit. We never quit. And everyone had a part of this tonight.
Congratulations, man. How are you going to party tonight?
I hope to keep the bars open because I will be there Juning.
All right, Dennis, thank you so much. We're going to try to battle our way through here. I see a crowd over here. I'm going to navigate around a few cameras here. And maybe I see Michael with the trophy. Stick with me, bud. Bud's stuck there, our cameraman. Actually, it's Ron Harper. Ron Harper. Ron Harper. Talk to me about that. The Ron Harper trophy?
I got the Ron Harper trophy tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I got the Ron Harper trophy tonight.
Now, you had an upset stomach tonight. I think that champagne acted as Pepto-Bismol for you.
Hey, it was a great run for our basketball team. It was a great series. The fans had fun. Our team had fun. And we're happy that it come to an end.
You've been through the meat grinder on and off the court, battles with management, battles with other teams. Old, tired, they called you. How sweet was this one?
Well, this was a great team win. We hung in there. We had guys hurt. We had guys that didn't feel good. And we came in here and we played a very gutsy basketball game.
Now, going through a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals, you have to come back here and win it on their court. What did the team talk about having to do to stand through this and make it happen?
Let's go out, get a good start, and stay in the ball game and play hard and hang in there. And we got to the 4th period. We was down by 5, and we hung in there and we stole the ball game.
Congratulations. How about a kiss on that trophy? Oh, life is sweet. Ron Harper of the World Champion Bulls. That's 6. We're going to fight our way over to Scottie Pippen. He's talking right now. If I can muscle in here.
Came into this series being an underdog, and no one anticipated us to be able to beat this team because of the home court advantage. But, you know, we just took it one game at a time and felt like that we stick with our game plan, we could win.
Scottie, you battled through, and tonight
I'm in a lot of pain, but it's a fun pain right now. You know, being out on the court is very difficult for me, but, you know, to go out and see that, you know, we can still pull this game through without a great performance on my part and an awesome performance on Michael. It just makes it fun.
Scottie, this is number 6 for you. You missed the first 35 games of the season. You were saying you weren't going to come back. You kind of went back and forth. How special was this one with everything you've gone through personally to come out and make it a success?
Well, it's very special. You know, at that time when I was thinking about, you know, not returning, you know, my teammates, Phil, Dennis, you know, and Michael, everyone kind of pulled me in and say, hey, this is why we're back. This is what we want, the opportunity to win another title. And, you know, I'm just glad that, you know, what they brought to me was able to come true.
By coming back and what you've learned about this team and what you guys are able to accomplish, where's your head right now? What are you thinking about, man?
Rested my back.
Yeah, talk to me about the back. You stepped up tonight. It was killing you. You were able to make some key plays, but, you know, a threat from the outside, even though you couldn't do what you wanted to do.
Well, that's what I wanted to do. You know, I felt like, you know, when I came out of the game in the first half that I wasn't going to be able to return. So I just wanted Chip him to give me as much treatment as possible, whatever, you know, just to get me back out there, and hopefully that the next 24 minutes I could just stay on the court.
You're half of the Bulls' dynamic duo. Talk about Michael Jordan. How appropriate is it that at the end this could be the last dance? He makes the steal, hits the clutch shot. What was going through your head?
That was great. You know, that's where great players step up and perform. And, you know, he had a great performance. After sitting here watching him for the first half carry us offensively, I just felt like if I could get back on the court and just to be a present, that, you know, he would be able to get a little bit of a break. Phil took him out of the game, gave him a little break, and when he came back in, he just had that look in his eye that he wanted the ball, he wanted to attack and be aggressive offensively, and that's what we tried to do, is get him the ball.
You and Mike are the only Bulls who have been in for all 6 titles.
Phil.
And Phil, but the Bulls as far as the players. Talk about your mindset. I mean, how do you walk away? What do you think about as far as making it happen one more time?
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of left up to the management right now. I mean, if the right offer is there for me, then...
But are you open-minded?
I'm going to be open-minded. You know, I made some comments, but, you know, right now I'm pretty optimistic that, you know, I have to look more at my future. But, you know, if these guys want to come back and try it again, then, hey, I'm going to be open to, you know, whatever talks is going on.
Scotty, enjoy. Congratulations, my man. Scottie Pippen battles through a bad back tonight, comes in and helps the Bulls wrap up title number 6, a 1-point victory out here at Salt Lake City. We're going to keep looking. They're telling me over on the side we're going to fight through our Sports Sunday guy, Steve Kerr. Actually, you don't want Steve Kerr right now? Okay. Well, we'll try to come back live. I'm going to keep fighting. You know what? We're going to go ahead and get this interview. We're going to get this interview. Hold on. This is Steve Kerr's wife right here. Steve's talking to someone. How excited are you for the husband? Came out here tonight.
I'm so happy that we flew in today. We were flying out tonight, and this was the only game we were going to be able to go to, and we're so happy to go home. I mean, it was like worth it.
And you got champagne. Your guy's smoking cigars.
We're having a great time.
Steve, talk about it. You've been excited, been able to step up and make some clutch shots. Tonight, it all came to a head in dramatic fashion.
But tonight, it's no shots. No shots.
Here we go.
You know, we can't even celebrate the championship without her taking a couple of personal jabs at me.
Honey, are you there?
This is what championships are about, sharing it all. And tonight to happen the way it did, that had to just
It was great. Margot and I actually scored the same number of points tonight. So you did a great job, honey. And we had the same number of rebounds, too. Hey, no, I had a couple assists, I think.
Sure you did.
Oh, these two have been battling all year. See, that's a loving, caring relationship. A little bit of business, what the team's been through off the court, even tonight. Scotty's hurting. Ron Harper, bad stomach. Michael Jordan struggles for a while, but steps up. You guys just have to feel like you're writing history book after history book.
Well, it's a good thing we won tonight because Scotty was... he was really hurting out there, and we didn't want to have to play Game 7 out here for sure. So we're lucky to get out of here with a win. They have a great team, and they could have very easily won tonight and had the advantage Wednesday.
What makes this team so special? You guys are able to pull together in adversity, be very resilient, and always get it done. What do you see from the inside that maybe we don't know about?
I think you know about it. I think you know who number 23 is. Let's face it. We all jumped on his back. I mean, without him, none of these championships happen. He's the greatest ever, and he's lucky to have Scotty next to him because Scotty's the greatest second fiddle alive. And the two of those guys together have been the reason that the Bulls have won 6 titles. And the rest of us, we're along for the ride.
That's right. Congratulations, Steve Kerr and Margot Kerr celebrating here. We're going to try to battle out. Enjoy that champagne. Toast it up, you two. And they were so kind they didn't even put champagne on me. Let's get out of here. Okay, beautiful. Okay, Michael Jordan is right around the corner. Thanks, Steve. We're going to break around here if you can get up on a chair, bud.
Locker room show.
He's amazing, but I mean, he got a wonderful statement.
Okay, we're trying to work on Michael. Michael's coming. Michael's coming.
A definitive Scottie Pippen.
He's trying to make his way back to get Michael. He's fighting through that. If you've never been in a locker room, and I don't think you ought to be in a locker room right now,
Probably not.
The kind of locker room that this is, when it's a joyous locker room, everybody comes in, and these rooms, of course, are very small, and so you just got to fight your way.
You got to be a linebacker.
You know what you got to do? You got to do exactly what you do out on the court. Elbow, hit, scratch, do everything possible to get in there. And John's in there.
Some gratification to do it here where the fans came down on us real hard.
You must be exhausted. Being Superman, you still needed more of a breather than you got.
I know. And Phil knew that. Phil asked me before the game, he says, are you ready to play 48 minutes? I said, whatever it takes.
But is this what legends are made of?
Plan at all, right? I mean, they said when Scotty couldn't go and Ron couldn't go, he said, Mike, you got to do it.
I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. I had to do whatever I could to help motivate this team, and I was hoping that it wouldn't be all offense, but it had to be.
Champagne. Michael, with everything you've been through.
You're coming back, right?
Well, we have to wait and see. I want us to all be back here next year, but I mean, time is going to tell that. You know, right now we don't want to make no rush judgment, and I think everybody wants to evaluate and see what happens.
Michael, with everything you've been through, how special was this one?
It's very special. 6? Come on, to win 6? You know how tough that is. That's very hard, man. I mean, nobody's done it but Bill Russell and his crew. Magic won 5, we won 6.
That's going to make you want for Michael Jordan to accomplish.
Well, I mean, we have to wait. I'm not going to jump ahead of myself. All right, I'm done. I am done. For all the people back in Chicago.
Where are you going now?
I'm going. We're flying back to Chicago tonight.
Congratulations. All right. Well, Michael Jordan battling his way through, gave us a couple of kind words there. And again, that's what legends are made of. He always makes time for everybody. And Michael Jordan, cordial, a class act for all the things he's done on the court as a player and how you appreciate him for everything he's done with his talent. Michael Jordan, a class act, a character person, down to earth, and again, always making time, always cordial as he rides off with trophy number 6. And like I say, the cigars, the victory cigars, life does not get any sweeter. They're toasting the champagne. We're going to try to chase down Mike. Yeah! I knew I wasn't going to get out of here without that. I thought I had a shot. But again, Michael Jordan, 45 points tonight, had to get it done. We'll send it back to the studio right now as I try to dry off. And again, Bulls champions for a 6th time. Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. And you got to love it. Michael Jordan, what a competitor. Bringing up Magic that he only won 5, but now Chicago Bulls.
Well, you know, he's
Michael
always
Jordan,
talking about
6.
being a competitor, get out there. So he always has got that carrot out there. Am I going to pass Magic? And he did
and
tonight.
He sure did. And they are all coming home, it sounds like,
sure
tonight.
Will. Let's go to Jet Copter 1. Phil Rogers is over the Dan Ryan. Wow, look at the Dan Ryan. Phil, what's happening?
Warner, look at that. That's people trying to get into downtown and finding out you can't do it. If you look, we're just over 51st, and that phalanx of lights you see on the Dan Ryan, that's the Chinatown feeder. You have no plans to go into downtown tonight. They're not going to let you do it. We also took a look at basically all the downtown exits. They're blocked off. The Ohio feeder, Ogden Avenue, no way to get into downtown from the Kennedy or the Dan Ryan per police design. Really, tonight, we're seeing a pretty quiet night up here. Warner and Allison, you'll be happy to know we're staying just above Roman candle level. We don't want to be encountering and have to dodge those things. We're seeing them going up all over town. A lot of fireworks, a couple of spotty house fires up here tonight, but for the most part it looks pretty quiet. The one thing we can tell you out there tonight, a large police presence. One of the things we're seeing up here, just parades of police driving around with their Mars lights on. The one thing the Chicago Police Department wanted to do tonight was make their presence known. They're doing it in a big way. We're continuing to watch the city from Jetcopter 1. Phil Rogers, News Channel 5.
All right, thanks, Phil. That is good news. And the Bulls and everybody's been telling the fans to celebrate safe. It sounds like they're listening to that message. And big celebration always at Russian Division Street.
That's right.
In fact, the mosh pit, we were watching some live shots earlier. You saw people bouncing off of each other, and you remember this has become a tradition of moshing,
That's
I
right.
guess.
Dick Kay is out there somewhere. Let's see if we can find him. Dick, can you hear us?
Well, Warner and Allison, yes, I can. And this crowd has been celebrating. They haven't heard a word of that post-game interview, the trophy presentation, or any of that stuff. They're too busy celebrating this last dance. They roared out of this, out of the bars here on Division Street the minute the buzzer sounded, and it was like a volcano erupting. And we've seen a little bit of everything here tonight, and they're still celebrating. They didn't need the Isley brothers to tell them to lift their hands up and shout. They came out, they did a little body surfing. They've done some body slamming. We've seen police move in a couple of times and quietly break up what could have been trouble. And there are police at each end of the block at State and at Dearborn. And this is the one block on Division Street where most of the celebration is taking place. And frankly, we're very, very lucky that this didn't happen Friday night, because the crowd would have been 10 times this big. I know the Bulls didn't want to hear that, but for the police, it's a great break, and this crowd has been peaceful, and they're just about shouted out. Live from Division Street, Dick Kay. Back to you, Warner and Allison.
All right, thanks, Dick.
You know, you're absolutely right. I mean, it looks like, you know, the Jazz came from New Orleans, and that scene down there looks like Bourbon Street in New Orleans. It really is a great thing. Let's go back out to the Delta Center and John Kelly. John?
He's got Luke Longley with him.
Battle through here. Luke Longley, we'll try to grab him again. We just lost him here. He's with his family. Luke, we just went live. All right, see, this is what you got to do. You got to learn to tap dance, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a shot of this. Luke's posing for his pictures with Leonardo DiCaprio and Luke Longley. I tell you what. Leonardo, what do you think of the Bulls tonight, man?
Dope, man. It was dope.
He said it was dope. He said it was dope. All right, thanks, Leonardo. Luke, real quickly, you said you talked to Bill Clinton on the phone. You're hanging out with the super stud, Leonardo DiCaprio. You're big time.
Oh, mate, you're always big time when you win a championship. I've had enough big time for a few years.
Now, again, you've already talked about it, but what about Michael Jordan's effort tonight, making it happen in the clutch for the storybook ending?
That's what they pay him the big bucks for. That's why they call him Mike.
With the grind you've been through, is this the most special one so far?
No doubt in my mind. This is the best of the lot. Oh, this is the most hard-earned and the most deserved. And I'm going to save every last drop.
I know you're trying to roll out of here, but you've won 6 titles. How do you end it there? 7's got to come back. What do you do?
Talk to the Jerry's, mate. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm happy to come back. I love it.
You're a lot bigger than Jerry. Can't you squeeze him, muscle him, man?
Might give that a try.
Do something for us, baby.
All right.
All right, thanks a lot. Luke Longley, the big man from down under, celebrating. Got his superstar, Michael Jordan. He's hanging out with Leonardo DiCaprio here in the locker room. Wow. Chicago Bulls, 6 world titles, and again, they have to now regroup and see what this management does with the team. If they're going to keep them together, and I mean, how do you not after winning 6? You know what I'm saying? We'll keep working on them. We're going to try to fight for a few more interviews. Let's send it back to the NBC Tower.
All right. Nice job, John.
That's right. Luke Longley didn't have a very good game tonight, but boy, to have a guy in there who's 7 feet tall and weighs 292 pounds, it helps your team out. He did a lot defensively, no question about that.
Well, this is the Bulls, possibly their last dance. We hope not, because we sure enjoy watching them play. Our live team coverage of the Bulls' quest for success continues right after this break. But first, we're going to take you back. Take a look at the Bulls' first NBA championship.
Can't see it enough.
Their first ever NBA championship.
Stayed back and got the ball. That's what I'm saying. 4 steals, 4th one was great. This, Chet, well, you talk about the shot. What I like about this shot, it's the championship shot, and I'm telling you, you had Paxson, you had Kerr, now it's Michael, deservingly so. Michael hits a winning, capping shot for the 6th championship of this franchise, and I tell you, what a way to deal with it, man, and this is what I think he needed. Matter of fact, that was a 3. It was a 3. I'm arguing the fact that that was a 3. Look at that. Can we rerun that or something? That was a 3. I'm arguing. I'm protesting. All right. Any way you put it, he hit.
I got to make one point as we check out Michael's numbers from the 4 previous years, 93, 96, 97, 98. Look at that. 41 points back in 93. 33 points here in 1998. Above and beyond spectacular. As I was mentioning about Bert Sugar, he had this book about the 100 greatest athletes of this century. He listed, as I recall, Jim Thorpe up top. Greatest football player of all time, brilliant basketball player, greatest lacrosse player of all time. Number 2 was Jackie Robinson, Baseball Hall of Famer, a guy who still holds the per-carry average on a season basis at UCLA. Where would you list a Michael Jordan on your list of great athletes? When you start talking about Thorpe, when you start talking about Babe Ruth or athletes of that note?
Well, when it comes to
all of them, this is number 6. How special?
Very, very special, because it just, I'm just so proud of this team, and I'm so proud of the staff and the people that have supported us, and it's just a tremendous win, and it makes you feel, you know, the bottom of your heart. You just feel very, very special about it, and this is one to savor.
The adversity this team's gone through, you have to come back out on the road to win it. Scottie Pippen's bad back. What are you thinking about when you're sitting there trying to complete this journey?
Well, I was really concerned, obviously, about Scottie, and I came in at halftime, and he's laying on the table, and he was hurting, and he had the pack on, and they were trying to get him ready, and he put the uniform on, and I said to somebody, if he can walk, he's going to play, because I know Scottie's a professional, and boy, he went out there and he played, and he just showed me so many guts and toughness, and everybody on this team Michael was unbelievable. Dennis rebounded the ball so well, did so many things. You know, played great defense. This was just a very special night. It's a special team.
You're in ecstasy tonight. You're feeling it, and you're a guy who's helped piece this thing together. We just saw Joe Klein walk by. You said you got him here to get him a ring. You brought in all the different pieces. Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, the only two that have been the consistents. Do you feel like you're getting the proper credit for what you built around this team?
I don't worry about that. I've got a great life. I work for the best owner in sports. I work in a situation that you can't beat working in the city of Chicago, the greatest sports fans in the world. I've got a great family. I got a great wife. I'm in hog heaven. I just feel great. There's nothing I could want more in life. I'm just feeling tremendous.
You've taken some grief about what's going to happen for next year. Everybody's talking about that Jerry's breaking up this team. You can't tell us right now what's going to happen as he gets the champagne from Joe. Thanks a lot.
That's okay.
But with what's going to happen, what steps do you take to make it happen?
We're going to party tonight, first of all, and we're not going to talk about tomorrow. We're just going to go on the airplane and oh, geez, in the eye. Hey, that one got me in the eye. But we're going to have some fun tonight and party on the airplane, and we'll worry about tomorrow.
But what are your next steps as far as
we'll worry about tomorrow.
You can't, I mean, as far as discussing
like I say, we'll worry about tomorrow.
I'm going to keep hammering you. What are you going to do?
And you're going to get the same answer.
How much do you have a desire to keep this team together?
Well, like I say, we'll worry about tomorw.
What about a desire to keep it together? Your feeling is the seventh run?
Like I say, we said we're not going to talk about the future until the right time. What
about the future getting this shirt dry cleaned?
Well, that's fine. We'll get that taken care of. I got one back in the room that I can wear on the airplane, and maybe we'll do a little dance on the airplane or whatever. So
let us know when you're going to dance. I want to see that. Can you give us a little bit of something?
They got a tape of me dancing on one of the flights back.
We got you live right now.
Yeah.
How about it?
But this is tremendous.
All right, Jerry.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Jerry Krause. We got to work, and we tried to make it happen. He's going to have be on the spot right now as he's getting showered with champagne. A lot of pressure on Jerry Krause and Jerry Reinsdorf to get this team back together. The Bulls have completed the quest with 6. They prove they are still the best team in the NBA. How do you let it go? That's the pressure on this guy and owner Jerry Reinsdorf. We'll keep hunting through the locker room. The Bulls, I think, are heading over to the hotel. We're going to toss it back to NBC as we battle our way around. You take care.
Thanks, John. He tried to get Jerry Krause to commit, but he just wouldn't do it.
Well, if you've ever tried to get an interview with Jerry Krause, you understand that's Jerry Krause being Jerry Krause. But one of the things you got to remember, he was the one who first saw a very raw Scottie Pippen down in Arkansas, and he told me himself, he says, this guy's going to be one of the greatest ever. And I remember him saying that we have to give him credit. He has brought some of the best stars to the Bulls, and no matter who criticizes him, the point is the guy's a winner and the team's a winner.
And hopefully he'll keep Scottie Pippen. That means we'll keep Michael and keep Phil.
I think we ought to be able to convince him of that, yes.
From the north side of the city to the south side, everybody is celebrating. Let's give you a look-see. Nasita Kwan's at the 50-yard line. Hi, Nasita.
What has it been an hour since we won it? Let me take this. Let me show. The cigar's smoked out, but they are still celebrating. You know the fans here, even in the agony of the fourth quarter, said they had no doubt. Tonight they are vindicated, right? You were one of them.
I knew that Chicago, without a doubt, would win it in the fourth quarter. Michael Jordan's heroics have been uncanny. Take another way from Karl Malone and John Stockton, probably going down history. But the Bulls are the greatest team in history.
Gracious in victory. And you know what these guys are saying? They're saying, let's go for 7. And in the words of MC Hammer, the song has been playing here all night. It's all good here. Back to you.
Yeah, it's the first we've heard that tonight. Go for 7. You remember last year we were sitting here watching Michael Jordan celebrating?
That's right. Yeah.
This year he's saying, let's hope.
Absolutely. Well, when you're out there at the 50-yard line, that's probably the only place that's more crowded than the locker room downstairs. So, Nasita, do the best you can out there, dear.
And another place to be tonight is obviously Michael Jordan's restaurant, and our Amy Jacobson has that choice assignment. Another loud place in the city of Chicago.
Allison, this place exploded when the Bulls won tonight, but they also had a second round of excitement when MJ said that he might be coming back next season. Now, you have been here for every game. This has been a long series, hasn't it?
Yes, very long series. I was scared tonight that the Bulls would not pull it out, but they pulled it out.
And you wore your lucky charm.
I wore my lucky charm tonight for the first time all season.
And we won!
And we won!
And immediately the champagne started flowing, of course, in plastic cups. Then they started handing out these shirts, repeat the three-peat. And of course, hopefully we'll all be back here next year. Live from Michael Jordan's restaurant, Amy Jacobson, East Channel 5.
You gotta like that, an honest fan. He was a little nervous.
Yeah,
and
she
you
threw
got
me one over there. That's right. Here it is. That's the official one. We are the champions.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, it is a three-peat of a repeat.
Repeat the three-peat.
That's it. Well.
All right, we're going to be right back after this with more coverage of the fan celebration as well as the players' reaction to tonight's unbelievable win.
What a night.
Down to the last second.
We'll be back right after this. They've been working hard all year to bring Chicago that sweet success. Now, please celebrate their great achievement with style and dignity.
This is your moment to shine, fans. Let's show the world how to do it right. I'm Allison Rosati. Join us and the News Channel 5 team as we celebrate safely.
Guys. The battle of the 6th, 7th, and 8th men, Utah outscored the Bulls tonight off the bench 19-10. Rebounds, the Bulls with a +2 advantage. Assists, 5 each way. Dennis Rodman had 7 points. When we come back, there will be more discussion, more contemplation of the brilliance and his place in history as we focus in on the franchise, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Stay with us right here on Fox Sports Chicago. A celebration 12 months ago at the United Center. All right, once again, as we continue right here on Fox Sports Chicago with Live in the Locker Room, let's go back out to the Delta Center. Bill Wennington, the former St. John's Storm, in the spotlight.
We've been here 5 years, and Steve Kerr's been here 5 years. We've grown very close. Jeff Wilson came in a year later, and Luke Longley's been here 5 years with us. And we've really had a great time and formed some strong relationships with ourselves as players, with the coaches who've been here working hard with us, and then with MJ since he's come back. And you know, it's really been a lot of fun. It's a group of guys that really are a bunch of characters put together and have a lot of fun together, and it's going to be tough next year if we're not together.
Could you also talk about the performance that Michael Jordan gave tonight? I mean, Scottie Pippen was out with a back injury. He really had to offensively carry the load.
He really did, and I mean, Scottie did a tremendous job just being out there on the floor and providing that energy for us on the floor. But Michael came through, and with what he did in the final minute of the game was just outstanding. He took control, got us the baskets to put us ahead, and did a great job. And you know, when Michael Jordan's on your side, you got a darn good chance of winning.
Now, you know, last year you were the one that got me with the bucket, and somebody's nailing us now with the water. Man. But I want you to know Ron Harper beat you to the punch.
Ron Harper beat us to the punch with the bucket?
Well, he got me with the champagne.
With the champagne?
You can see it.
Well, at least he didn't use light beer. I mean,
that's cold too.
Or water by Lori.
Well, at least it's
Lori
Weisskopf, PR.
Lori
We'll get
Weisskopf,
Lori
PR.
later.
We'll get Lori.
You having a good time, Lori?
Lori!
Well, Lori, since you're on time. Congratulations, Lori. You've been lifted up by Bill Wennington. All right.
Hey, Billy. What a night.
TD, how old is for you, TD? You
only got about a minute left on your
battery.
battery.
Left on my battery?
Yeah.
Okay. I got another battery. I got more film. I got everything I need, Tom. You don't want to go back to my room later?
No, thanks. Billy, first of all, congratulations on another great championship. And this time you're a participant. A lot of different feelings, obviously.
A lot of different feelings, and it was great. And I got a chance to go in there tonight, and you know, defensively, I got a nice foul on Karl Malone. Unfortunately, he made the basket, but I did get to stick a jump shot, and I was out there for a little while. But you know, it was just a great game. It was tight all the way. It was close, and MJ came through in a clutch. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better finish.
Defense decides a championship again, and I guess there's no surprise in that, right?
Definitely not. I mean, defense is what I'm sure you talk to any coach in the world, and I'll tell you, defense wins games for you. And our defense tonight was great, and we did what we needed to do when we had to do it.
And you guys now get a chance to go home and celebrate in Chicago in style again.
Yes, we do. And you know, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we got a long flight home. Lord knows what's going to happen on that plane. But I mean, it's just been great, and it's outstanding. I'm sorry we couldn't do it back in Chicago, but you know, it's great. We did it for Chicago, and it's here, and it's number 6 for us, baby. Let's get it all the way.
All right, partner. Thanks, Billy.
Bill Wennington, we're going to get a look at the numbers on the mailman, Karl Malone. They're interesting numbers, but Dutch, they are deceptive for one reason. In the fourth quarter, step-up time. Unofficially, I have Jordan with 16 points and Malone with 6.
And I'll tell you this, you better credit Dennis Rodman. Mamie Malone scored a lot of points during the whole course of the game, but if you stick with the sticky defense and you stay in his chest, stay right there for 48-minute game, as I always say, down the stretch run, a lot of times you are tired. You can't get the shot off. Dick Motta has taught us that for years. Just stay with the defense, stay on him. I don't care for guys that don't get frustrated if he's hitting early, because if you keep that same defense of approach and that same energy level all through the game, down the stretch run, most of the time, you're not going to get that shot. It's not going to fall for you at that particular time. And I like to say maybe he didn't get the looks he did down the stretch run. He didn't get the ball. He didn't receive it because we were working on Stockton a little bit.
October 3-1, 1997. He was at the Fleet Center when this journey began with a loss against Rick Pitino and the Boston Celtics. Recall that ball game? Bulls leading by 20 after a quarter. And now tonight, he is part of the championship celebration in Utah. We rejoin our buddy, the slam dunk man, Eric Collins. Talk to me, partner.
Yeah, Chet, you're off by a couple of weeks. It actually all began in Lawrence, Kansas. Remember that preseason game against the Seattle Supersonics in the middle of nowhere? Well, we started then, and we went all the way through here. An absolutely unbelievably unique experience. Not really that glamorous. Everyone probably thinks that it is. It hasn't been. A lot of times you see some seamy things and you do some things you're not really in love with, but an absolutely unbelievable ending. Michael Jordan just walked to the bus just a couple of moments ago. The man was just dead tired. He was dragging. He had a couple of his security guards basically propping him up. Michael Jordan absolutely spent, and Michael Jordan, the reason the Bulls have championship number 6. In the finals, the key to winning is taking more shots than your opponent and, of course, making more shots. But Michael finds a way to take more shots than anyone else. Michael heaved up 36 tonight. He didn't make a great percentage, but Michael makes the ones that you need to make down the stretch. It's been an absolute joy. If I never get an opportunity to do this ever again in my life, I can always say that I was here and we brought this to you folks back at home. An absolutely wonderful experience all season long. The Chicago Bulls, once again, are world champions. Right now, I'm probably supposed to say something eloquent, try and wrap this up, something witty or historic. But all I can really say is for the 6th time in 8 years, the Chicago Bulls are world champions. Chet, that's the story here at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. I have nothing left to say. Back to you guys in Chicago.
Eric, great job. Go have a belt. You know, though, he brings up a very interesting point.
Eric's putting on a little weight this season. We got to teach him how to eat on the road.
Eric began the season at about 175, and he's now about 192.
I hear you.
I've had the good fortune, as you know, going back to 71 to be part of a championship team as a broadcaster with Milwaukee. Then in 91, I had radio over at MVP with the Bulls when they won championship number 1. This is now the 3rd championship where I've had a broadcasting part. And think of all the guys in this racket who are around this league 30 years, never get a crack to enjoy what you and I have enjoyed this year.
I've been with all of them. How about that? You know, Spot played in 91, the first part when they first started. Okay, but from that point on, I've been right here. Proud to have been here, happy to have been here to witness this, whether you like what I say or not. This is the world champions. I'm proud to be a Bull, whether you like it or not, and think I'm saying the right things or not. This is absolutely a privilege, a pleasure, and I'm like Eric, I don't know what else to say. But the Chicago Bulls are 6 times world champions in 8 years, the greatest basketball team ever to me. Now,
I'll say it for him. During the years he's covered the Chicago Bulls, Norm has redefined the phraseology. If you had to pay, if it wasn't free, very simply, you paid too much.
It's called the Van Leer discount, people.
The Van Leer discount. 1998, what can you ask for? 33 points a ball game, 4 rebounds, 3 feeds, above and beyond the man. The most gifted basketball player the game has ever produced. All right, back we are, an opportunity once again to just kind of savor the moment. And if, again, you happen to be joining us late, the Chicago Bulls tonight for the 6th time in 8 years. You just don't do that anymore in this era of free agency. For the 6th time in 8 years, the Chicago Bulls are NBA champions. What about the Worm? What about Dennis Rodman? Let's let the Dutchman talk about number 91 and his performance tonight and perhaps his basketball future.
Well, you never know what Dennis is going to do, but I'm telling you this. He maintained, he's hung in there, and this type of performance, he had 2 crucial tips when there were misses, and when he seemed to be losing our edge down there. But what Dennis did was stuck with it, and he tried to get into Karl Malone's head. It didn't work. Some of those silly type things that we may think are silly are just the way Dennis acts. Hey, man, you see that? He hit a little jumper. Dennis Rodman was out there playing as hard as he could, and against a guy that weighs almost 100 pounds more than he is, but he stuck with it. Luke got in foul trouble, and I tell you this, I repeat this, you stay with that defense like you have, and like Dennis did, it paid off down the end. And I can tell you this, Karl Malone didn't get many looks down that fourth quarter, and this is about the, I'd say, 7th game that I can say in 2 years, that down the fourth quarter, he didn't get the looks that he needs to do to win championship ball games.
As you know, big guy, championships are celebratory. Championships are also moments of great poignancy. We go back to the Delta Center. This was the way Scottie Pippen appeared, just moments after the buzzer had sounded, just moments after the realization that, yes, he had earned his 6th championship ring in 8 years. What about Scottie Pippen's basketball future? Forget about it for right now. Let's all savor the moment. Chicago, sit back and enjoy what so many cities have never had the opportunity to enjoy. Just one NBA championship. We can look at 6 over the past 8 years. You know what I'm looking forward to already?
Yes.
Well, you and I got the draft coming up.
All righty.
And
we do?
We got Hall & Oates in Chicago next Sunday.
Next Sunday, I can't wait to go see my boy, Chicago. And I'm going to celebrate right there at the Horizon Theater.
And don't forget Tom Dorr and Kopic and the Dutchman. We'll be at Grant Park.
Tuesday.
Celebrate the 6th.
Yeah.
Red Kerr's going to be there with a brand new T-shirt.
I'm feeling good right now, Chet.
Tuesday at 10 a.m. The coverage begins.
Talk to me, baby.
Chicago.
All right.
Hold up the trophy collectively because
champions.
We are
champions.
The champions.
Champions.
Good night, Chicago.
Oh. Yes.
Hands raised in victory. A 45-point effort by Michael. Scottie with a couple of big shots in the second half. Tony Kukoc, the unsung hero, with 15 points, and on it goes. If this is the end of the Bulls as we know them, remember this impressive stat. Since they started winning championships, the Bulls have won every NBA final when Michael Jordan played a full season. 6 for 6, as Michael himself pointed out earlier tonight in the locker room. Magic's Lakers won only 5 titles, and it took them 9 years. What a run here in Chicago. Warner, Allison.
Let's hope it keeps going.
It is absolutely amazing. This team defies any explanation. It truly does. Let's take a break. When we come back, there's lots more coming. Stay with us.
Here's Paxson for 3. Yes! The Bulls take a 1-point lead, and Phoenix calls for time.
The United Center, if you can make it out there from our live picture.
The home of the 6-time world champion Chicago Bulls.
As of tonight. And 16,000 people showed up to cheer on the team, even though they had to do it via television.
Just to watch television, but they did a heck